Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Minnesota Sports Talk, presenting Under the Lights with your hosts, Justin and Dave, next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Under the Lights, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk, and I got my Canadian invasion below me over here. I got Rap. God knows what he's going to be up to tonight. And Justin, who has a score of a 2.0 on the S2 score, coming to you live. Let's go. Let's go. What's up, guys?
What's the S2 score?
That's the thing that the quarterbacks did.
Wonderlick, apparently. I don't know.
It's a replace the Wonderlick, and CJ Stroud scored in the 18th percentile. And that's why nobody wants him now.
Oh, wow. Wow. Can he play football, though?
Apparently. But if you ever go look at Wonderlick scores on successful quarterbacks, you will not find too many with, like, that low.
Yeah, they say, like, the ones that are good at it are actually decent quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, like
right. Like, that's, like, one of the...
Christian Ponder aced the Wonderlick test, if I recall correctly.
He did. He was high on it.
Yeah, he was high already.
It goes both ways, but I get what Dave is saying though. Like it's more likely, like if you
have the athletic ability and the one the high score, then you're like a shoe-in to be good, is what they're saying.
So
like Will Levis, Bryce Young, all like 96 or higher. Anthony Richardson 79, so he's right there.
Okay. Anthony Richardson 79 compared to 18 from CJ Stroud.
Yeah, so I did a mock draft. We had both available. We took Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
So Justin, I guess that's what Spillman looked at. It was the Wonderlick test. That's why he took Ponder at 12.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think it was the Senior Bowl MVP.
That's what
knocked it over. The Senior Bowl MVP. A little shout out, Skull Mafia. Thanks for showing up to this show too. Appreciate it.
What's up, Mafia?
Davy Chains. Let's go. I should change my name to Davy Chains. I don't know. I'm stealing.
How you just gonna take that man's name?
I know, right?
I should change my name to Davy Chains. What's up, Davy Chains?
Chicken soup for the soul. Soul is in the house. Merry Fist. Let's go. Skull Mafia. All right. And the McAndrews, Skull Brothers. Glad to have you on our show, man. Glad you're back. And Roger says hi.
Hey, real quick before we start, Mick Andrews, I got to give you a super big shout out. Like I went back to today and I watched my very first live, which was the draft last year. And Mick Andrews was in the building commenting, man. I appreciate you, Mick Andrews. You've been around since day one. Like facts. Like that's what's up. For sure.
One bar gave you that name. You can keep it, man. I won't steal it. I went with D Shizzy with SCH.
Oh yeah, D Shizzy. Yeah, I seen that.
But tonight I'm Dave. So, hey Mike, tell them where they can find you. We'll give this a chance for you to do a shout out
on Twitter at Mike Castellino and on YouTube at Mic'd Up Podcast.
And the enthusiasm drips.
I'm telling you.
The enthusiasm.
I
don't have the personality of Rap. I'm not going to try to act like I do.
Well, nobody does. You ain't got to be. You don't sell yourself. What's up, Kyle?
You can go on Twitter and
somewhere on Twitter. You'll follow some Vikings.
Nah, shout out Mike, man. That's
pop out.
I'm glad you with us, Mike. To be real, I'm keeping it honest. Like I'm glad you with the family again, bro. Like you never left, but I'm just glad you're like active now. You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah.
And you're joining us. You were one of my first listeners too. I didn't go live until April 10th. So when I started joining with Rap, you were on his channel. You migrated to mine a little bit too.
Yeah, McAndrews, I want to send you a hat bad, like if you don't mind.
I'm gonna send you this hat.
Inbox me an address or something.
Last year's draft hat,
like a lifestyle hat. You definitely deserve one, man. That joint really made me feel some type of way earlier when I was watching it. I'm like, yo, McAndrews, I seen me pin your comment. I'm like, yo, damn, McAndrews been around since the day one, man. So yeah, if you can't send me an address, I'm gonna send you a hat.
I'll say this too. This time last year, you talking about your first live on draft night with like 2 or 3 people, right?
Yeah.
So.
And
Last year, I wanted Mike to come on with me, but he had some other stuff. He only came on when the Vikings were about to make their pick and then traded out. So I'm sitting there by myself.
What a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 people, and some guy from one of your spaces joined me. I didn't know who he was, and it was just kind of like awkward or whatever. But
yeah,
this year we're gonna do it right. We got Purple and Go for Days, Purple Pocket Podcast, Mike, Minnesota Sports Shot, PG Sports, and
that was
Versus
rough.
Gold Media.
Sorry, man.
We're all gonna simulcast. It's going to be a madhouse. Bring your own beers, drinks, or whatever variety of beverage you want. It's going to be crazy. We're going to have former Vikings wide receiver Matthew Hatchett is confirmed. Alexander Madison's father is confirmed as well, trying to hook up some other guests as well. So hit the like buttons on all of those. They are on our pages now. So if you could do us all a favor and go to the pages and hit the like buttons as well as subscribe, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.
So it's a drinking game tonight. Davey Chains just invented a drinking game tonight with because we got rap on the show.
There we go. I'll play it for you, Davey.
I am not
You'll be drunk. You'll be drunk. Don't do that.
I am not going to stay on past 10:30 Eastern time. I can't. I can't.
Hold on.
Sorry.
You got to be quiet, Dave. I'm trying to
Don't do him.
I'm trying to play it for him. Ready? Here you go, Dave.
Well, Mike, you got a hard out at 10:30.
Guy's not going to win a Super Bowl ever.
10:30 or 9:30?
Very
10:30.
Kirk Cousins not going to win a Super Bowl. Never going to happen.
Who is that, by the way? I have to know. Who is that?
On it. Play that again. Play that again.
Who
We stepped
is
on
that?
it. I'm sorry.
Don't do him.
That's Grant Cohen. He's like one of the top beat writers for 49ers. When they were talking about trading
that clown
to the 49ers.
I bet you Javon Kinlaw would like to give him another
yeah,
discussion.
I seen that when him and
I'm
Kinlaw.
sure.
Yeah, him and Kinlaw.
You ain't lying. What's
sure.
up, Lamont? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. So what should we talk about first? Should we talk about the Vikings, the draft, or should we talk about Aaron Rodgers? Ding dong, the witch is dead. What do y'all think?
God, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. That's like just warming my heart.
Mhm.
And he's gone.
It really is, man. Actually, like I'll start it off with, it really does feel good. I mean, that's a win for the Vikings for real.
Yep.
I mean, although I feel like he might have been, hitting his decline. He might get rejuvenated now, though. Just switching the scenery, and he might have a year like Tom Brady had, where he just kind of rejuvenated. Although he did win MVP, did he win MVP the year
2 years ago?
Last year, but 2 years.
2 years ago.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. So I think he still has a season or two, or maybe
Tom
3
Brady
in him,
got screwed,
to be honest with you. I really do. I think he has a couple more good seasons in him, and I think he'll rejuvenate. Playing with the Jets, just that young team. He just has a lot of youth over there, and I think they'll kind of bring out the youth in him. So, I mean, but good thing is, guess what? We don't have to worry about him unless we see him in the Super Bowl. So, hey, shout out to the Jets, man, for real. I'm glad, man. Now the Packers can suffer trying to find their guy for the next. Hopefully Jordan Love doesn't turn into like the next fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Now we're going to they're just going on to the third chapter of Hall of Famers.
I'm about to say, like, bro, if Jordan Love turns into like the next best quarterback in the league, I'm going to be like, yo, seriously, bro, we need whoever's doing their QB scouting, we need to hire that. Offer him as much money as you can in your bank account, Wills, because we need him for sure.
Well, it is a different person than it would have been, obviously, that drafted Favre or Rodgers. So we should. I don't want to go crazy, but we should be okay.
They are publicly owned, so we just
it's just the Green Bay. Maybe it's just something in the air in Wisconsin where they just know how to get fucking quarterbacks. Let's hope it's not that type of deal. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, hey, any quarterback that comes to Green Bay is going to be a Hall of Famer. That's just what it is. Any starting quarterback.
Well, I do want to say this. Like, obviously, recency bias for the last 30 years, but we're obviously all scarred. But they had a long drought after Bart Starr that a lot of people don't obviously mentioned because how Reese, but yeah, they were terrible.
Yeah,
so
they were.
Hopefully they return to being relatively irrelevant.
Facts. That's a fact. And shout out Mary too. I seen you said you got to watch my podcast. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it.
I wonder where they scored on that NFLPA list. I wonder where the Green Bay Packers scored.
So did y'all think, I want to ask y'all this, did y'all think that the trade was bad for the Green? I know SK was saying something about like where they got fleeced. I looked at the trade kind of, and I was like, yo, it don't look like they did. It don't look like it was, because they still got a first round pick in return too or something. They traded
here's what they got.
So they got the 15th pick and they gave Green Bay the 13th pick too as well.
Yeah, so here's what it was. They get the Packers get a second round pick this year. They flip-flop 13 and 15, which is okay. It's something, but it's not much. They are going to get the second round pick next year from the Jets, unless
conditional first.
Unless Rodgers plays 65% of their snaps or more, in which case that pick becomes a first round pick. So
conditional first.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, I don't feel like Green Bay got fleeced. I mean,
no, they didn't. No, I agree, Rob.
Considering the contract they have to take in, yeah, it was a great
trade. His age too. He's 39 years old. Like they did quite good for his age. I'm not gonna lie.
39-year-old who's got a bucket load of money, garnering you 2 second-round picks, one of which can become a first. No, I mean, the Jets end up getting a 5th-round pick this year, but that's kind of just one of those throwaways at the end, so to speak. But no, 2 second-round picks, one of which can become a first. That's a good deal for Green Bay. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, man.
I almost wanted them to keep because of how strapped they would have been.
Yeah.
Because like 57 million a year.
Yeah.
Like crazy cap hits they were going to have. Almost $60 million on one guy. That was crazy.
No, I agree with what Tim got in here. You know, the Jets had extra picks. So, you know, however they acquired those extra picks, you can just say, hey, all of that pick maneuvering netted them.
And they had a great draft last year.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they did. They had 3 ones.
It's a good start right off the bat there. No, you're right, though.
Facts. Yeah. They're whatever player I feel like they add this season is just going to put them kind of over the top. I do believe that the Jets are going to be a serious contender next season with Aaron Rodgers. And if they add like a defensive player like Davon Witherspoon or something falls, man, and they get one of those cornerbacks, bro, to team up with Sauce, it's going to be, hey, boy, Josh Allen, boy, I feel bad for you, boy. It's going to be a long
Who was the quarterback? He went to the Miami Dolphins, Mike White?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he went to Miami.
Yeah, Mike White. I remember that shit. But Mike effing White, man. We're worried about Mike effing White. You know what I'm saying?
Our defense was worried about anyway. Let's be honest. We were scared of every quarterback with our defense last year. Just statistically, it was not good.
2-3 years actually, but you know.
Well, last year really took the cake.
Daniel Jones owes us $20 million a year.
He owes Donato
He owes Donato a nice steak dinner, like a low key, really nice high end steak dinner.
Yeah, low key, high end.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
No, but listen, I'll say it like this: I remember when Favre left, I kind of felt away because I was just like, okay. But then I remember in 2008 when we beat the Packers, and it was the first time that Childress had actually beaten Green Bay since he took over. McCarthy with Favre and Rodgers was 5-0 against him. And I remember beating Rodgers for the first time and it feeling kind of empty that we just beat the Packers without Brett Favre because Rodgers wasn't Rodgers as he is now at this point.
Right.
And I said this in the short that I did. It's just like, I hated you, but it was because of how damn good you were. And I'm not afraid to say it because at the end of the day, there's nothing better than when we actually beat you. And that's the ultimate sign of respect. And it's ultimately a great day knowing that the Packers, for the first time in 3 decades, don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. So finally, they can finally know what it's like. So you cursed
us,
huh?
So you cursed us.
How did I curse us?
You said you weren't going to have another Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yes, because out of the 7.3 billion people on this planet, I am the only person who has yet to say that, and who hasn't been saying it for forever.
You did curse us then.
Yeah.
Dave just want to argue with you, Dave.
Yeah, I know. What's up, Mike? What's up, Mike?
He's trying to get his spice in here, man.
That was just friendly banter. I didn't know you'd get defensive about it. Shit.
I didn't know.
I'll use one of your lines. You know, apparently you can't fight sarcasm with sarcasm.
Yeah. Looks like Dave's frozen over there. There you go.
Is he?
Yeah, man. What's up, everybody in the chat, man? I see everybody in the chat.
Freezing?
Appreciate y'all.
It's not too evil.
Oh, am I freezing?
You're fuzzy on my end. These
You're
other two
fuzzy,
guys are
but
clear.
you ain't freezing. But
yeah, I already know I'm probably fuzzy, man. StreamYard always got me fuzzy, man. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this to your point, sarcasm or not. I don't see Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers, at the very least, he was talked about being a number 1 draft pick that fell, and so we can't say we were too surprised that Rodgers at least turned into halfway decent.
Yes.
But Jordan Love is in no way in the same atmosphere as a project or of what he was projected to be. When he took over, now the way Rodgers was when he was drafted with Favre still in the house. So I feel fairly confident that Green Bay should finally get its comeuppance after 3 decades. Hopefully.
Keyword, hopefully. Let's not try to, have blanket statements here and then regret that for the next 15 years.
Blanket statements, because there's no absolutes. Absolutes.
Nope.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Mr. Irrelevant was the best. It was the best quarterback last year. You can never use blanket statements.
And guess what? He had the highest C2 score.
Did he really?
He had the highest C2 score.
Look at that.
Oh, now we're gonna put all this weight on this damn this Wonderlic.
I know this
shit.
new test that just came out last.
It's a good indicator.
So who was ahead of who? Levis or Richardson? If that's what we're gonna.
Levis
I'm kidding.
was up there.
I'm somewhat kidding.
Levis was number 2, number 3, or 2 or 3 out of the guys that are going to get drafted.
I don't give a damn. I do not.
Well, let's just start up by saying this notion of trading up to the number 2 spot just to take Will Levis. Rap
absolutely
just did a video on this here, so if you ain't seen it, check out his page after the show. If we traded up for all this talk about the back and forth of is it worth trading up this high for this kind of a quarterback, and what's the price and all that, if we ultimately end up doing that for Will Levis, I might break something on draft night. I mean, what do you, Mike? I'll start with you real quick. What do you think of this notion of trading up to 2 to get Will Levis? Where are you at on that?
I might break something too. I think I would do it for Richardson though too. You guys know that I'm lower on Richardson than you guys are, which is fine, right? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't want to trade up for any quarterback at 2 that's not named CJ Stroud. I personally don't think Young will be there. Mind you, that would be lovely, but that's not going to happen. So I would not want to see that. No.
Dave?
I'm not trading up for 2 for a quarterback. I just think I'm doing these mock drafts and they just make it way too easy to trade up to 2.
Right.
But I don't think there's a guy there. Now, honestly, Stroud scoring an 18th percentile on that test has me completely questioning him as a bust. Because, when I looked at guys that were busts, that were like top 5 picks, they didn't score very well on that Wonderlic score. So that really scares me about him. But God, he looks so good. But was that a product of playing with a B, NFL B team in Ohio State? It's like, did that make up for it? But God, he looks so good out there. That if someone fell to 10, you maybe go get him. But Will Levis, just because of the production, I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want to trade up to get him. I am a little more back warm on him. I was initially warm. I didn't want him at all. And now I'm like, hey, if he's there, he has the physical tools. And now I know like that night he had like a 96 percentile on that test. Now I know he's, he can handle it. That means a lot to me. That playbook's fucking huge. And to be able to process that information, and it does more than that. They also score you on I don't know, just stuff I can't do, obviously, because I'm mumbling here. But it does a lot of different cognitive things, and he scored really high on it. So he's back on my board as draftable in the possibly 23 or later. There's just so many good defensive players and receivers that I want. That God, I want one of those guys. But I wouldn't cry if we got Anthony Richardson or Will Levis or Hendon Hooker scored like a 46. So now
I was about to ask.
I'm cooling off on him now. I'm cooling off on him.
I want to ask you quickly, Dave. I don't want to cut off Rob. I'll make this really fast. Is there anyone that bucked the trend about the Wonderlic score that was, beat it, or
anyone that what?
That bucked the trend?
Mike Sports Vibes. Congratulations, 100 subscribers, man.
Hey,
am I subscribed?
Man. Shout out to Mike Sports Vibe, man.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Is there anybody that bucked the trend?
I was wondering if you were answering the question when you were doing that. I wasn't sure.
I was pointing at the comment because I was trying not to interrupt, so that totally backfired on me. I was pointing out the comment to the people in the chat, but that's all right. Moving.
Do you know if there's anyone, Justin, that you could think of that bucked the trend of the Wonderlic test that didn't grade well that actually became a really good NFL quarterback?
Absolutely not, because I don't give a rat's behind about the Wonderlic test.
Well, to answer your question, I looked at it several times before I've been a YouTuber, and it was not. I couldn't.
Not even one that you could not one.
I can't even think of one.
Wow.
That became a really good quarterback. No, can't think of one. Well, you think about. I think the worst one I heard was who was the guy the Titans drafted from Texas that year?
Vince Young.
It was a 7 on the Wonderlic, and the highest grade on a Wonderlic is 50.
Vince Young was going to have a good career until
then a Ryan Fitzpatrick scored like a 48.
Well, of course, that kind of goes without saying, right?
played above his ability, right? His physical tools.
I mean, I understand that there's going to be some correlation between testing scores and that, but at the same time, it goes back to something I said the other day. It's just like, if we talk about, well, I don't want a quarterback from Ohio State, or I don't want this position from that school, we're going to end up eliminating everybody, because everybody at some point, in every school at some point, at every position at some point, had somebody that didn't go very well. I'm not saying that the Wonderlic / whatever this new test is called should be ignored altogether, but for example, if I'm high on a given player based on their film, based on their statistics and what they did in college, and how I've evaluated them as a general manager or a head coach as to what skills are going to translate to the NFL, I'm not going to let this test just completely throw that out the water. Let's say hypothetically they just absolutely love quarterback X, but they scored low on this test. Oh, well, now we're not going to go after
exactly.
the guy now. There's got to be some balance in there somewhere. I'm not saying ignore it, but I'm not saying that it's got to be the pot of gold that says draft a guy or don't draft a guy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, man, to be real with you, I don't really care about it either. I mean, it does mean something though, I guess. I'm learning something new tonight because I didn't really look into it that deep. You know what I mean? I just look to see if a player can play football, like for real. But it does mean something. I mean, if the numbers are there, the numbers are there. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as Will Levis trading up and all that, man, absolutely not, man. Like for real, absolutely not. You do not give up 3 first-round picks for no Will Levis. You just don't do that.
I do want to throw this out here too. Like, how many times have we said this as Viking fans? I'm not even trying to be funny here when I say this. Like, Kirk outthinks himself. Like, there's something to be said about being too book smart, and you know what I mean. There's something to be said about the dog on the day just going and balling out. You know what I mean? Not overthinking it. There's something to be said about that too. There's a happy marriage, right?
It's not a math test. It's one of those deductive reasoning, quick thinking. It's timed. Well, that's what the Wonderlic was. I don't know what the S2 is like, but it was. I've taken it. I scored like a 33, which was kind of average for like a quarterback. It reminded me of one of my tests I took to get into my master's.
But does that mean you can play quarterback for the Vikings?
No, but it would. No, it doesn't.
It would help you out, though.
It match it with my physical abilities, and you're going to not draft me. But I just the amount of absorption these guys have to do in a short amount of time. You got 3 days of practice, man, basically, and you got to install an entire game plan. I'm looking here. I guess Vince Young got a 6. It was even worse.
Even worse than what you said.
Oof.
Yeah. Right. Punter actually got a perfect score. Pat McAnally or whatever his name is.
I thought you were going to say Pat McAfee for a second.
Yeah. Really? God damn.
Hey, his after football career was genius, man. That guy's making a ton of money. Good for him.
Oh, yeah, well, absolutely.
His podcast is good as hell. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Skull Mafia said Jake Hayner scored a 96. I watched Jake Hayner's. I watched a little bit of his film last week, man.
It's a Fresno. Is that Fresno? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just watched him. I really like him and that guy from Houston.
Yeah, Houston too. Yeah. They were talking about.
Was that Toon? Is that Toon?
Toon. Yeah. His athletic traits are just off the charts. 37-inch vert, 4.64 40. He had a 98 percentile in his 10-yard splits.
Yeah, Toon seemed pretty decent too, man. He's in the draft this year.
Yes. Yeah,
man. Somebody probably.
I just got a D for draft him in the 6th round.
Yeah, he doesn't seem bad, man. But I want AR, man. I'm waiting for this sound right here, man. Well, this is the sound we are waiting for. You know what I'm saying? Thursday, man. We going Anthony Richardson, man. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying?
Richardson got a 79. Anthony Richardson got a 79.
He got a 79. Shit, that's
Why
good
is this?
enough.
Who says? Did Dylan just say he had a 93? Was it a 79 or a 93?
Yeah, it's 79. At least the
No, I thought
you said 50. I thought you said 50 was the highest you can score.
That's Wonderlic. That's Wonderlic. The S2 is like 100, I guess.
Yes.
It goes by percentile, like when you took your standardized tests in high school.
Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Mike Sports Vibe already up to 108. He came in to say thank you at 100, and we already got him almost.
And Mike Sports Vibes, I subscribed.
There you go.
Let's go. Let's go. That's how we
now,
do
if you
over
haven't
here.
already,
Man.
return the favor. Minnesota Sports Talk.
Everybody in the chat, Purple Pocket Podcast, Minnesota Sports Talk, mic'd up. And shameless plug, Purple and Go for days. If there's anybody in here, don't subscribe to all of it.
Mike somewhere on Twitter, you're just going to have to find him.
I'm Mike Castellino. Is that better? Was that loud enough?
Mike Castellino. Y'all got to get him. And Mic'd Up Podcast.
I took off the chat just so you could see how it's spelled.
There you go. Shout out to everybody, man, for sure, man. Rich Gang, man. You already know what time it is. I know my boy Too Evil don't like he don't like Anthony Richardson, but hey, you know what, Too Evil, man, we just gonna have to deal with it.
I'm being serious now. What doesn't he like?
I just don't think he's worth trading up to get, which is okay.
Wow.
I mean,
there's something me and Too Evil agree on.
To me, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with disagreeing with not trading up to get a guy that only played X amount of games of football. What, 14 games or something?
Yeah.
Or is it even 14
No, it would have
games?
been something along those lines.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't be mad at people that do feel that way, but to me, man, the athletic ability, I just feel like he's like a lottery ticket, man. You gotta, because if he hits, man, especially being able to sit behind Kirk Cousins, have KOC out there, and they get to really mold him for a year. I mean, I just think it's a recipe for good things to come. You know what I mean? So that's why I like it.
I do want to throw this out here. If we did trade up to 2, which I honestly don't think is going to happen, you can't keep Cousins on the roster, right? Like, you can't. Surely.
What do you mean? You mean like after this year?
No, like this season. Like, I think you'd have no choice but to trade him in the summer.
Really?
Or something.
You think so?
I mean, can you really sit a guy that you drafted second overall? I'm not so sure you can. Like, has that ever happened? Like that? I mean, Lance, I guess, did. But like that was kind of different.
Drafted Jordan Love at pick 10. I mean, and sat him for damn near how many years?
I thought Love was 20-something. Jordan Love
was in the 20s, but
yeah,
he was.
I'll say it like this.
10, my bad.
I would say it like this: if you trade up to 2, and you get either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, which would most likely be CJ Stroud because we all think Bryce Young going number 1. That's a conversation where I'm willing to start CJ Stroud right away. And if you can trade and get some assets in return for Kirk Cousins, okay, cool. I'm down with that.
I don't see us doing that.
I don't either.
But that's what I'm saying.
As much as I'll be okay with it, I see us drafting a guy that's definitely going to sit a year for sure.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
So that's why I think
you get Richardson. You can. Yeah. I don't care where you draft somebody. If you're drafting a quarterback for the future and you want him to sit for 1 year behind the incumbent and learn and soak up stuff and be tutelaged by Kevin O'Connell, I don't care if you get him at 1, 2, 5, 10, 23. Just go with your plan. The external pressure of, there's a threshold where if you took him at 10, you can sit him for a year, but if you take him at 9 or higher, you got to play him right away. Forget that. Do what you want to do. I don't have an issue with sitting a guy.
Just get him. Just get
the guy in the
just get him on your roster.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah,
it's just I don't know. That's just me. The reason
I see what you're saying though, Mike. Typically, yes.
I agree.
If a team goes that, you're getting him to be the starter right away.
And I can't get this thought out of my head, and maybe it's me overthinking it. It easily could be, but like the fact that Kwesi structured his Kirk's contract to where after June 1st, or June 2nd, they could actually get a decent amount of cap space back. I just wonder. I'm not saying it's a guarantee by any means. I just wonder if they're leaving that option open. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, could be. I mean, after June 1st is going to be. It's going to be. It's gonna get spicy, man. We definitely gonna be hearing some news after June 1st, right?
Yeah, I found one guy. I found a Hall of Famer with a Wonderlic score under 20, Marino at 18.
There you go.
Here's kind of a prime example. Jeff George, drafted high, gonna be this great quarterback. He had a 10. He had a good season with semi-good season with us, but otherwise that he was like non-existent, right?
No, he was a journeyman. He was Jay Cutler. I mean, name your guy with a strong arm that just got bounced around team to team.
Did you say Joey Harrington? That brings me back to Lions bust. Oh my
God. Patrick Mahomes.
I was thinking Joey Harrington. My bad. Patrick Mahomes. I think he was high 20s, but I gotta find him. I think he was high 20s. So Lamar Jackson 13. That's a guy that's kind of outperformed.
Absolutely.
You can't judge it like what we said. You can't judge it. It's not the end all be all. None of this stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out Malik. What's going on? Good to see you.
Shout out to Malik, man. I feel like that 18% on that test going to drop Stroud to where we trade up for him. Yeah. I mean, I would be okay with Stroud, to be real with you, man. I like Stroud too. You know what I'm saying? I just never really talked about him too much, only because I felt like he was just out of reach for us. I mean, since the beginning, I just always felt like he was either going 1 or 2, to be honest with you. Like, I just always felt like that. But now, as we're getting closer to Thursday, I guess, it's starting to look like maybe he will fall. I don't think he's going to fall past pick 5, though, for sure. I think the Colts will grab him. Like, he's not getting
You'd imagine. You'd imagine. But, like, I wouldn't be – not even trying to be funny. Like, I could see a real scenario where Richardson and Levis go so high because their ceilings are higher than Stroud, right? Stroud, the thing with him is he's got a really high floor, but his ceiling's not that high. It's going to be interesting, man, guys, on Thursday. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. It's going to be fun, man. But one thing for sure, I hope we stay far away from Stroud. I mean, Levis. I hope we stay far away from Levis, man. Do not get Levis, bro. Do not trade up the 2. Only way I'll be good with Levis, and I still wouldn't even be all the way good, is getting him at 23. But I still wouldn't be all the way good with that either. I mean, I feel like shit. If you're going to stick at 23, you might as well get you a wide receiver or get you a defensive player. Straight up.
That's a very good point that Tim made here, that the Vikings did pay him out a $20 million bonus. And it would take a lot of convincing for a guy they just paid $20 million in cash to then just be shipped out and to not get anything out of that. But
he's absolutely going to be.
No, you'd have to get decent resource. Like you always say, Justin, you can't get pennies on the dollar. Of course not.
If you were to trade Kirk Cousins after June 1st, first off, then you'd be getting draft picks for next year. At absolute minimum, it would need – I would say a first-round pick, but absolute minimum of a second-round pick and maybe something else. Something in the lines of what Matt Ryan got or what Carson Wentz got years back.
Facts.
But you're right. It's highly unlikely that it's anybody other than Kirk Cousins as our quarterback for this season. I absolutely. What's up, Skull State of Mind? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. But no, I agree with what you're saying there, Tim, that it's highly unlikely. It would have to blow you away.
He said he scored low on purpose to get to a better team. I can see guys doing that.
Imagine that he flunked the answer.
That's some good levels chess playing right there.
Anything not to go to Houston. I wouldn't blame him, by the way. I really wouldn't.
Like that, I ain't going to Houston, bro.
I want to play with JJ. Let's flunk the test. Could you imagine? What a story that would be.
That is.
I mean, because you think about it, like that's a lot of reason why a lot of these top prospect quarterbacks don't turn into good players, because they go to, obviously you're getting, Joe Burrow's just an outliner, but
he really is.
But most of the time, these quarterbacks, man, they go to a team that's in rebuild mode and they're not expected to win, and they'll wind up getting buried.
Every year.
That's why I said I was talking. Me and Day were saying this. It would be a lot more. It would be different if there was only a draft every 4 years or something. Then you would be able. But when there's a draft every single year, and every year you have the next best thing coming into the NFL. You got to show what you got right away. You know what I mean? There's no time to wait, for real. So CJ Stroud gets drafted to the Texans. He has a mediocre type season. Next year, they're already going to be talking about the Texans possibly going for a quarterback. Look what they did with the Bears this year. They were talking about that early on. Hey, the Bears might just trade away so they can trade away Justin Fields. They already ready to give up.
To your point. Sorry.
Shout out to Skull State of Mind. I think this is David Woods, right? Used to be on Skull Purple podcast. Isn't that the guy?
Yeah. He replied to a tweet that to the scheduled tweet that I sent out last night.
I think that's him.
Yeah.
Hey, this is his YouTube channel. He hasn't really started on it yet, but he's going to be on my draft recap next Sunday.
All right, there you go. No, I remember
me and Johnny are doing a draft recap, and he's going to be on it. So
awesome. I thought Johnny was getting on here. Did you send him a link?
He had a toddler emergency.
Oh, okay.
He had to take care of it, so he may or may not show up.
Hey, let me get some shouts in here because we gotten behind. Worthless is in the building. Thank you kindly as always for joining us.
Thanks.
Zach's in the building. Thank you as always. I think there's a couple more that I might have missed in here. I know we said
we're only five behind. That's better than usual.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we said hello to Bob and Skull Mafia, but boys, thanks for joining us. I think you guys kind of got caught in the mix of we subscribing everybody to Mike Sports Vibe, but if we didn't say hello to you, we all know we saw you, and of course, Two Evils in the we've already talked about Two Evil. We got all that, so we know Two Evils in here whenever.
Shout out Zach in the building. I see you,
What's
Zach.
up, man? What's up? But
apparently CJ Stroud has the same agent as Watson. I think Johnny brought that.
Hey, he'll get a nice deal then in the near future if he works out in the NFL.
That's true.
What's up, Dave? How are you doing? Good show tonight with you and Tyler on First and Gold. You guys had a great mock draft there as well, so thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you.
Shout out the boy, man, for sure.
And if y'all didn't hit the like buttons on the way in, regardless of which channel it's on, if y'all could hit them like buttons for us, we appreciate you. So
this is a little bit behind, but I did want to throw this out there because Rob made a really good point about if one of these quarterbacks struggle early on, that you can already talk about quarterback the next year. Let's not forget, Josh Rosen was the perfect example of that, right? He was picked 10th overall, and then they took Kyler Murray the next year at number 1. It happens. It does happen.
Yeah, man, because there's players coming in every year.
It's
so
like
it's
swung
just
and
hard,
missed twice.
How do you think that if the Cardinals didn't just give Kyler Murray a buckload of money, that they might even be thinking about doing that?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, they would. Yeah, they would have absolutely thought about it for sure.
Yeah,
I think Kyler Murray's better than all the quarterbacks.
I do too. I'm just saying.
Then Young too,
right? Physically,
on paper,
but his attitude isn't there, right? Or his work ethic, one of the two. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think they're making too big of a deal on that, man. It might have been something with the coach and stuff. Like, obviously, they fired the coach and all that too. You know what I mean? Like, so I know they're making a big deal about him playing video games and all that, but the man was winning football game, man. Like the Cardinals they went 10-0, like just 2 seasons ago. They do fall off.
Then the game came out, and then they make the playoffs.
Yeah, they fall off. You know what I mean? But he still wins a lot of football.
I think they only won 8 games is the most. I don't think they won 10 yet.
No, they went
they had to win 10 the year they made the playoffs.
Like
surely the 1 year, a couple years ago, surely
they won like 10 games in a row. I think, right? Or at least 9.
It was a crazy run. I know what you're talking about.
It wasn't 10 though. I think it was 9.
Oh well, same damn thing. Same damn thing. 9, 10, whatever. They won an ass of games in a row. I'm gonna tell you that. My thing is just this, man.
But that was the beginning, right? They tailed off, right? They tailed off.
Yeah, they always fall off. Yeah,
they do. They all start hot. All right, hold on.
Yeah, they start hot and then they fall off for sure.
All right, they started off 7-0 and they ended up 11-6.
There you go.
7-0. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
they were good that year. They were good.
I forgot that season.
I was a Cardinal fan, and he was hype, boy.
Was that the year they made the documentary, or they followed him around?
No, that was the year before because they lost the Rams the playoffs. I know what you're talking about. The in-season Hard Knocks was this past year, wasn't it? I think it was this year. They did the in-season Hard Knocks. They stunk though. Poor Buda Baker.
No, it couldn't have been the year before because that was 2020.
Hey, Malik,
that was
man, you crazy,
They
man.
weren't doing it during that season, so it had to.
Tyler looked like a weeble wobble when he
shout out Malik, man.
That's funny, Malik.
He damn sure do though. You absolutely right about that. I like Kyler Murray though, man. I'm a fan of Kyler, man. I think Kyler
weeble wobbles were an underrated
toy.
Sure. Underrated toy, weeble wobbles.
That's why people talk about Bryce Young being short and all that, man. It don't matter, man. This dude can play football, bro. Like,
he's a dog.
We got to stop putting all this weight on all these size and like how tall the player is, man. Listen, if you're proven, man. This dude's been winning since elementary school. He's been winning state championships in high school. Like, this dude obviously knows how to win football.
I called him a short Pat Mahomes.
True. Hey,
he just looks.
Bryce Young.
I love watching Bryce Young.
I was going to say Russell Wilson, but I think he plays more like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Bryce Young is hands down the best QB in this draft. Like he's on a level by himself, I believe. I think
Carolina could go to the playoffs.
Everybody else is under him.
Carolina legitimately could. They could legitimately compete with him at quarterback. They really could.
Absolutely. Bryce Young's a dog, man. He really is. I'm excited to see him play for sure.
Chances the Vikings are on Hard Knocks. I'll say
I hope he does go to Carolina because I'm going to the Carolina game this year.
That'd be fun.
So I'll be able to see Thielen and Young play. But even though we're gonna stomp them, but still, at least I'll be in the building. You know what I mean?
Zach, I would say this: if the Vikings traded up and got a quarterback and didn't trade Kirk Cousins, maybe they get on Hard Knocks just to see how that would be going over.
Who's on Hard Knocks this season?
The Jets will be. Mark my words. The Jets will be. They can be forced. They will 100% be on it.
Going to be like not wanting to be on the camera and shit. They're going to be like, sorry, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be part of the episode. You know what I mean?
I don't think they could do that. I don't think they have a choice.
They'll be on
They'll be in trouble, surely.
They'll be on Thursday Night Football twice because now you can be on it twice. They'll be on Monday
the
Night
Jets
Football
are going to be on
times.
TV like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Like what Denver was last year, except Denver stunk. But it'll be the same idea in theory.
Yeah, the Jets are definitely going to be on prime time a lot this season.
And they deserve it, by the way. Like Sauce, they got some good players,
they
man.
do. They got some
really
ballers,
good players.
man. They got some ballers. I ain't gonna lie. The Jets, it's definitely their time. They have arrived. You know what I mean? That's a fact. They have arrived. I believe that. And I believe they got a chance to actually win their division next season. Like, hands down, like they can run away with that shit for real.
Well, I agree with the point that you've been making that if they get one of the top 2 cornerbacks to pair with Sauce Gardner,
it's over with.
They're going to make some serious noise because we said this a month ago that if they get that and they get Rodgers and Rodgers is motivated and he's not just going to be anti whatever the coach tells him to do, they can make some noise in that division. But even if they don't win the division, they're going to be a tough out for Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. They're absolutely right there with those 3 teams with one move and one draft pick.
Yeah.
So,
but Sauce is one of after 1 year, man. Sauce is already like the best. He's a top 3 cornerback in the league already. Already, man.
I hate this line, but like he's him. Like he's an issue. Like no one wants to go against that guy. Nobody.
Yeah, he's him. That's a fact. He's him. That's a fact. He really is.
Let me try something out here.
Shout out Mary. I see you said you're gonna be at the Carolina game. That's what's
up.
There
you go.
So
you should do a live show out there and see if you can get Mary off for 1 minute.
You already know.
This is a deep cornerback draft.
Yeah.
This is actually how NFL.com has them rated. They actually have this rated this way.
Who they got number 1?
They got him. Well, they got graded. This is they list them by grade, and they got him graded number 1. And Brian Branch, Devon Witherspoon, Joey Porter, DJ Turner, Kelly Ringo's kind of dropped. This is my favorite guy, Deontay Banks.
Yeah.
I love this guy. Look at that vertical, 42, 40, 4.35, 11.4.
Yeah.
Dude's sick. Dude's sick.
Yeah, I like Emmanuel Forbes.
Is that his real weight? 166 pounds?
Yeah, he's really thin. He's like Sauce Gardner.
Oh my God.
He's actually built like Sauce. He's real thin. But he's long though. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Now I could have made mistakes, but I remember that guy being that time.
No, I believe you. Like, because I heard my one buddy who I talk to all the time, who watch games all the time. He told me he's a smaller version of Cameron Dantzler.
I think you got the wrong picture though, Dave. I'm gonna keep it real. That's not
all right. I can go fix it. Yeah. Who do I got?
I don't know.
Hey, Dave, take the comment down while we're doing these slides. That way Mike's face ain't covered up. There we go.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
What's up, Viking Central? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for having me on last week, and thanks for shouting me out earlier.
Julius Brents is number 23. He's tall.
Sometimes they change their number.
You got his height. I think he's 6'4".
That is true. His number could be different from year to year. It is possible.
Yeah, it's possible, but I know that ain't Julius Brents though. It's all right.
All right, Rap. Mary said she'll buy you some beers or whatever it is you drink.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm in Carolina, so you know I'm going to that game. That's a fact. Like I'll never miss a Vikings Carolina game. In Carolina, absolutely not.
Hey, that one receiver, KJ Osborne, made a pretty good play last time we played the Panthers, huh?
I mean, he's not quality though, is he? Is he quality?
That game.
Is he quality though?
Yeah, is he quality? I don't know.
That's the question.
Is he quality? Shout out Viking Central Podcast, man. I've been watching you, man. I appreciate your work you're doing for sure.
Yeah. If y'all didn't see it, he had me on last weekend. It was a fun time.
Yeah,
well, there was a time he wore number 8. Yeah.
Oh, what? So maybe that is him.
So, but all the he kind of looks like him.
It looks like him.
I'm comparing him. He's like wearing. Yeah,
I just knew his helmet was different and shit too. That's why I looked at it too. I know he's wearing that. He wears that KJ.
It was tough, man. I put 150 slides together.
Hey, for real. Hey, you doing your thing. You know what I mean? You doing your thing.
These are well done, Dave. I got to say also.
They're
really well done.
These shit look good.
They are clean. They are crisp.
There is a guy named Jay Quellen, and I was pretty happy to find that. Jay Quellen, like Keenan and Peele.
There's some of these dudes I didn't even look into. Jartavius Martin, like damn. I don't even know who that is.
I just put their stats up there. I haven't looked at them all yet. I got the quarterbacks.
Yeah. Let's talk about
Since we're not talking about anything in particular, I got to say this, though. I think this will warm Justin and Rob's heart. I'm all in on Tank Dell, man. That guy is fantastic. I watched this tape. My God.
Tank Dell from
Houston.
Houston,
Let's
yeah.
go, man. That's my favorite receiver in the draft, man. Like, for
his
real.
footwork.
5'8",
Holy moly.
right?
That man
He's like
got some
5'8".
foot in it. But thank you, Mike. I know at least somebody paying attention, man. Like, you got to be born with that type of shit, man.
You're not, that's something that's not, something you could just learn. No, you've got that
that
footwork.
boy can
That's
dance his ass off.
yeah.
For real. That boy nice, man. I gotta send you a video, Mike, that one of my partners sent me on Tank Dale with the music playing too, man. That thing just got me
He's just got to get bigger, though. He's too small to play in the NFL that way. He can't play it that way.
We got the number one weight room in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no thing, man. Come on down, man. We get you right. You know what I mean? We get you right. We'll put on 20 pounds.
He'll stretch the field, though, man. That guy's he's crisp.
Oh, man.
And
what I've him, man.
And you put me onto him, and I looked into it. I was just like, okay, like who? But then I was watching his tape. I was like, okay, what really impresses me is he would be a very perfect complement to Justin Jefferson.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's not like Johnston that's, 6'3" and can, jump 500 feet in the air, that sort of thing. But I agree with, you put me onto it and I put him on it. And that's what I'm saying. He would be a perfect complement to Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is almost more valuable, particularly if you can squeeze and get him in either the second or the third round, assuming you don't make all these moves for quarterbacks that, we may or may not be making. But no, I'm with you.
Could you see him falling at 87? Like, because his height, like he's small. I know this is the stupidest thing, but to Ralph's point about overjudging height, like guys like Tank fall because of their height and weight. Like it happens. Yeah. So if he's there at 87, I don't think you think twice. You run that card.
You don't think twice if he's there at 87. But to be real, I think a lot of people feel like us about how good he is, and I think he's actually going to get picked up in the second round. Like I could see him going.
He deserves it, man, off of his
because
footwork,
he also knows how to do punt return too. So he's also he's lethal at punt return too. And when he's like Cordell Patterson, bro. Like that's how the way he cuts and stuff. Like he might even be a little smoother with the cuts than Cordell Patterson, to be real, but. That's the type of player you're getting, man. Not as big, obviously, not as bully, but I mean, shit, man. That dude's quick, man. You can run reverses with him, man. He's just one of those gadget players, man. You got to take a chance on him. You know what I mean, got to take a chance on him for sure. But I'm with Viking Central. I think he'll be top 60 for sure.
Yeah,
top 60.
Maybe
late second round.
If he was there, you run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's not making it to 87. I don't see it. But if he does, though, that'd be shocking to me.
I will say there's a lot of guys that are very intriguing in this class. Like it doesn't have like a blue chip star. But it's a pretty deep class. Now, obviously, Tank would be one of the guys I'd really want. Like I watched Charlie Jones, I believe, out of Purdue. He's pretty good footwork too, and I like that intermediate, short, and deep passes. Like he can do it all. Mingo from Ole Miss, my God, that guy has some ridiculous hands. And if someone made a really good point to me in one of my spaces, A.T. Perry's another one. But
I'm big on A.T. Perry.
A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf were from Ole Miss, and they both were second-round picks. Mingo might go around that same range now. Obviously, we don't have a second-rounder, but I could really see us trading down. We'll see what happens.
About Treadwell.
I know, but he's the one outlier. But those guys came after him. But again, it's the same thing Joe said. You can't take him off because of the school,
right?
If you like him,
that's true.
Right,
that's true. I think Ohio State though wide receivers are.
Oh, they're fire. They're
fire. They're starting to come in the league and be good right away. They had two last year that were just really good, man. Olave and Garrett, like they were just both of those guys, man. Were savages.
So NFL.com has a Jalen Hyatt #1. Josh Downs, Zay Flowers.
See, Zay Flowers only 5'9". Oh my God! See, that's why. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't try to put nothing into the height.
But look at this vert. Look at this vertical.
God damn.
But isn't Tank small though too?
I think Tank's 5'11". Yeah. So
is he 5'11"? Really?
He's 5'8". I think he's 5'8".
There's no way he's 5'11" at that weight. Really? Is he 5'11" at that weight? Really? That's crazy. If he is, he's thin then, man.
Well, Wikipedia says 5'10", so it must be true.
Wow, he's thin then, man. Wow. Crazy build.
But he's only 165. I mean, he's
small.
He's tiny.
He's like me. He's the same size as me, to be real. That's crazy. Yeah, right. I couldn't imagine me running out there with them big ass motherfuckers.
Cedric Tillman's a fun one.
Here's like the tall guys: Quentin Johnson, Cedric Tillman, and then A.T. Perry. Otherwise, I think there's a guy from
5'11",
173, maybe.
Like he's not much bigger, you know what I mean? Addison, that a lot of people are high on.
But a lot of people are also scared off Addison because his weight, right? Because he's going to go high.
Yeah, I was about to say he's small too, 5'11",
yes,
173. Like these guys are all like this class is super small, man. All of
them. There's not a bunch of big guys. Tillman's a fun one though.
I like it. I like
when I was watching Hooker, like Tillman stood out. Like he was quite good.
Yeah. I like A.T. Perry. I watched A.T. Perry last night. He's
Mike Mateo calling you out, saying somebody.
I didn't know he was here. I didn't want to.
Jalen Hyatt.
I knew it was Mateo, but I didn't want to say. I don't know how active the people are from the spaces. But if he's here, that's cool.
Yeah, no, Mateo's in here. He been showing up. He's been showing up recently. So.
I think Jalen Hyatt though, like if we're gonna talk about him, like. I think his route tree isn't that good, obviously, because he doesn't. I mean, with the offense they ran, they pretty much told him, "Hey, you run a 9 route. Everybody else gonna run the route tree. You just run. You feel me? Run for us, run. Goddamn it, get open. You know,
we in the backyard. Run to the furthest tree.
And you know what? It worked. He reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. That's just what I. That's
who Tank?
No, Hyatt. Yeah, like you just run downfield and throw a bomb it to him. You know what I mean? And he's 10 steps ahead of the defender. It just is what it is. Like hopefully, if we can get that out of him, I think that would actually benefit us with Justin Jefferson because we need somebody who can move the safeties, man. That's what we lacked last year, and that's why they were able to play that type of defense, that bracket defense on JJ, because we had nobody that could stretch the field. Adam Thielen's not running no 9 route. KJ Osborne ain't running no 9.
Not consistently well, unfortunately. Yeah. Not to disrespect either of those players, but it's not their strong suit, especially at this point.
Their strong suit. We need somebody who that's their strong suit, and that would benefit Justin Jefferson a lot. It would open the field up for him.
I do want to say this about Hyatt. I worry he literally is literally a one-trick pony. Yes. If you look at his highlights, it's literally Hendon Hooker's highlights of him just throwing him deep. That's what's terrifying. I've said this to Justin, I think pretty sure on Spaces. Hyatt to Kansas City makes so much sense. Like it's just like it'd be like cheating. Like honestly, but
because Andy Reid would know exactly what to do.
Exactly. Just scheme him open. He'll just run straight, we'll find a way. Don't worry.
Hey, Mahomes will get you the ball. Trust me. Just run down there. You know what I'm saying? Run down there. The ball coming. You know what I'm saying?
If Mahomes is scrambling, don't stop running. Just keep
running. Just keep going.
Keep running.
Keep going. I'm telling you. Or Josh Allen, too.
Allen, too.
I think he'd be good with Josh Allen, too. Josh Allen bombed that fucking
The Bills could use a guy to stretch the field, too. It's not a bad take. That's an interesting point as well.
Yeah,
Josh Allen could throw the ball 75 yards.
Believe it or not, like if Tank and Hyatt were on the board at the same time, I'm taking Tank Dell. Like
I agree. No, I agree. His more consistent footwork for me.
Yeah, for real, man. You know, this dude's different, man. You know what I mean? And I can't wait until the season starts and I can go back on my takes and say, I told y'all, bro, like Tank Dell, man. Like everybody thinking too deep into these wide receivers, man. I'm telling you who's him, man. Tank Dell is him for real. Watch.
I saw it immediately when I watched him. Like, my God, this guy is something. Like, wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. He's small, but hey, he know how to work that low body he got. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that matters. Shit. Hey, to Devontae Smith, small as hell. You know, everybody said the same thing about him. Oh, he's kind of tiny, he's skinny, but look what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
And he was perfect once he got a wide receiver one beside him, like AJ Brown. That's why I think Tank Dell would be perfect for us because he could fit right into that competition for wide receiver too, and he would stretch the field. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, for sure, man. But it's gonna be fun, man. You know, like. We talk about these wide receivers, but I know most of us want to go for a quarterback. So we got to kind of pick our poison because if we're going to go up for a quarterback, obviously we're going to be out the race for one of those top guys. But Tank Dell can still be a possibility. So like imagine we do go up for or A.T. Perry. So imagine we go up for Anthony Richardson, but then we're still able to get Dell or A.T. Perry. Man, I would be lit about that, bro. Like that would be my night would be good after that. If we can get those two players. Richardson and Tank, bro, it's over. Who, Dale? No, Dale. I'm saying, like Mike was saying earlier, like if Dale falls to the 3rd round, like if we don't got to give up our 3rd round pick or something, or maybe we trade up, maybe there's a way we can find a way up in the late 2nd and get Tank, I'll be good with that. You feel me? Like for real.
But I do want to also throw this in here too. Trey Palmer, the kid out of, I believe it's Nebraska. He's been touted pretty good as well.
Who's Cedric Wilson too, or Cedric?
Tennessee.
Okay,
Cedric.
That's
Cedric Tillman. Cedric Wilson's a receiver from the Cowboys and Dolphins.
Yeah, somebody was talking about him last night. So
he's a big guy. He doesn't get much separation, but he's like a small forward boxing out type of red zone threat. He looks good.
Yeah. He said, Mateo said Smith played against legit talent, though, to be honest, while a lot of these guys now that are small and skinny played against used car salesmen.
Car salesman. It's always the used car salesman.
That's
every
his
time.
line. That is his line. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, going to Alabama definitely does play a difference when you got to go up against like LSU cornerbacks and stuff like that. But, hey, listen, sometimes you can't overthink it. And when you watch a guy's film, like I trust my film watching abilities, bro. Like when I see a player.
The answer to this is 0 because he's got a no trade clause.
Well,
what's the chances? Yeah.
Not on draft night. I mean, it's so small. It might, like, to play the game, you'd say 0.01, I guess, because you can never say fully 0, but it's like nearly, it's
like 0.00.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to happen.
We got 5 minutes. Would you waive your trade clause?
Could you imagine, Vikings Twitter, if it happened? It'd blow up.
Yeah, no, it would have to have been a discussion that starts before draft night. Hey, tell his agent that if we can get this guy, that he should have his list ready of who he's going to waive his no trade.
Like they would already know that right now on Monday.
They would
know that it's going to happen. But the thing is this, I was going to say, like, we did kind of feel some type of way about the Trey Lance news when it came out. Like I felt like maybe that could happen before the draft or maybe right after the draft if we didn't get a quarterback. But now I watched John Lynch, and they actually are keeping Trey Lance. Like they said they were fielding calls, but at the end of the day, they're excited about Trey Lance. They still want to see what he has. So Trey Lance will be a 49er.
I just feel like they need him.
They're going to give him one more chance to like prove himself this year. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to do.
Just for us Viking fans though, just because I got to throw this out there for the sick, pessimistic part of myself as a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Watch Trey Lance be a franchise quarterback, and we'll all know in the back of our heads that they talked about him with the Niners just because it'd be so
like
Vikings.
That would be my first option, Mike. I'm gonna keep
me too, actually,
like,
Rap. I can't believe I agree.
Get Trey Lance and receive some picks. Because if we get Trey Lance, they're gonna have to give us something for taking him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If we send Kirk Cousins, like so that would be my ideal thing. And then if he don't work, we still got all our first round picks that we can go get our guy next year. If he don't,
and you'd build your draft class behind him too. It'd be perfect. Sure. It'd be the perfect scenario. But it seems like a pipe dream though.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream now.
And by the way, as we talked about on your channel last night, Rep, there is no way it would happen before June 1st, which means
it was fun while it lasted. It
would not happen with this year's draft class. It would not be. There's no way. Both putting aside the no trade clause, putting aside the last minute rushness of it, San Francisco and Minnesota does not have the cap space in 2023. If it was post June 1st, that's a different story because then a lot of bonus money is going to get kicked into 24 on both sides of the trade. There is literally zero chance. Trade Janelle for picks. He doesn't feel that. No, that's.
But I gotta say this real quick though. I gotta say this. Are we like the first team in NFL history though that actually has a quarterback that really does have like top 10 in all statistics for the most part, like yards, touchdown? That every year that we're always in the QB conversation of trading and trying to get somebody else. Because just imagine Kansas City fans like in the offseason talking about trading up to get Anthony Richardson or some bullshit. You know what I mean? When they have a guy that's doing this thing, or even the Josh Allen. Just imagine the Bills doing it or something. Like I feel like Vikings, like we do that, which I'm on board. Obviously, I'm ready to move on.
There is a section
weird that we do that shit.
There's a section of Dallas Cowboys fans that
are
with Dak Prescott the way we are with Kirk Cousins, which is why I use him as a comp all the time. But
I do want to throw this out here to Rob's point about talking about trading cuts. A couple years ago, you asked me. Justin knows this more than anyone, because he's taught me the most, but I'd be all over no. When Justin Fields was rumored, I said, absolutely not. Justin will probably remember me saying that to him once or twice. I said, no. But he's nearly 36 years old. Like, now you've got to start talking about the end is near, right? Like,
absolutely.
No disrespect to Kirk. Good quarterback. Yeah. But eventually, you've got to say, it's time to move on, right? Like, it just is what it is.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. What do you think, Dave? Go ahead. I know you're ready to talk, man. Come on, Dave.
I agree with everything Mike just said.
You want me to play it for you? Hold on.
Like
hold on.
Real times.
Guy's not going to win a Super Bowl ever in his life. I feel very confident about that. Kirk Cousins, not going to win a Super Bowl. Never going to happen. Never, ever. So,
and I would make that
don't do him.
Out of 31 quarterbacks this year, only one of them is going to win.
Absolutely, you right about that. That is true.
No, Hall of Fame quarterbacks right now.
Like I'm excited to see Jalen Hurts. To be real,
right?
Like I know we're kind of getting off topic with other quarterback, but I am excited to see Jalen Hurts only because they did this with Carson Wentz, and Carson, you got to remember, Carson Wentz damn near won MVP his second year when they gave him his big contract, and then all of a sudden, it went downhill. And I didn't know this, but Jalen Hurts had to get ankle surgery. I think they were saying this offseason.
Yes,
I think
he was playing through it. He was playing through it. He was hurt. Remember that he was hurt. Yeah.
I thought it was a shoulder though. I thought it was a shoulder. They were saying it was his shoulder during the season though that they were saying it. But now to come to find out, he got ankle surgery too. So I mean,
I might have been right.
He don't shy away from contact. Like that's one thing I think is gonna hurt him. And
saw them third and fourth QB sneaks where he's just getting.
Yeah, that's why that's why I was high on Lamar Jackson, because although Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback, he's a smart running quarterback.
Like, well, he's got hurt too, though. To be fair, he has gotten hurt.
But I think he gets hurt more like trying to goddamn juke motherfuckers and tweak and shit. But as far as
he hurt it the one time doing the celebration, to your point. So yes, he does hurt himself other ways.
Taking hits, he's known to run out of bounds or get down if he feels like he can't get the play. Where Jalen Hurts puts his head down. Like remember what he did to us? Remember what Jalen Hurts did to us? Boy?
Yes,
like he puts his head down and tries to bull rush people. Use the size. So I think
that's for Mike's question here. He was a second round pick.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was a second round pick.
Out of Alabama. Yep. Or Oklahoma, sorry. Oklahoma.
And they had Carson Wentz that, they still had money on Carson Wentz thinking that he was going to be the guy, and they moved. And that's why I say that's what the Vikings need to do. Like, don't settle, man. Like, get your guy if you think he's there, just like the Packers did with Love. We're going to see what he turns out to be. But.
You know what bothers me, though, about Jalen Hurts? So this is a little bit off topic. Doug Peterson lost his job for that pick. And it's so unfair. Howie Roseman's still there. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve credit, but everyone's just ignoring and just saying, well, Howie did it. No, Doug Peterson's the QB whisperer. Let's be real here. He won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. So
facts. Well, and look what he did with the Jaguars.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah, look at the difference with Lawrence. I agree, 100%.
But he went 8 games the next year, and then losing record the following year, right? So it was on decline.
Well, they won more than 8 games the next year.
Yeah. No, they went back. They went to the playoffs the next season after the Super Bowl.
Divisional round of the playoffs and barely.
Nick Foles played. He won another playoff game. It was the double doink.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Love the double doink.
And they barely the Saints barely.
It was close. Yeah, it was close.
I remember the Bears fans being pissed after that game. It was funny as hell watching that joke afterwards. I mean, they was ready to freaking. But that kicker got so many death threats. It didn't make no damn sense, man.
That stuff I hate. I hate that stuff.
I hate that too, man. It's like, damn, man. It's one thing for us to get on YouTube and talk about these guys, but man, don't threaten.
Don't send toxic stuff like that. That's
a little too far. They're not getting paid that much money, man, to be dealing with that. You know what I'm saying?
But they have families, right? At the end of the day, they have families. They don't deserve that.
Yeah, for sure. That's a fact.
To answer Malik's question, because I got to step out I got to get me something to drink here. My throat's getting dry again. I'll take
Here you go, man. Listen, let me ask you something. Why don't you get a drink?
Because I was restarting my whatever. I totally forgot it. I'll be right back.
You did this last night too. I'm just asking.
I know.
I'm just wondering.
Dang it, I did it again.
I'm curious. I'm just curious.
No, I said to myself, Rap's going to say something. Yeah. Right on cue, he did. Hold on.
I'm just curious. He did this 2 nights in a row. I'm like, just get a bottle. You're going live tonight. Just get you a bottle of water and put it right there on your desk. You know what I mean? So you got it, man. You know what I'm saying?
On draft night, if he doesn't do that on draft night, it'll be a long stream.
Draft night, he's gonna be like, hold on, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta go get something to drink. My throat. So.
And we trade up in the time that he's away.
I'm telling you. Malik said MVP Lamar or Eagles Michael Vick. I'm taking MVP Lamar, man. That season was amazing. Although I do like Eagles Michael Vick too, but I think
Michael Vick with the Eagles was that was something amazing. Special. I know his history because of what happened. It ruined it. He did it himself, right? He ruined his own career. But man, Michael Vick, I remember when I was a kid, he was so dang good.
Remember that run against us?
Yeah.
Dude, I was 25 when he was in college.
He made those two players run into each other, kind of like what Lamar did to the Bengals, man. That run Lamar did with the Bengals.
Yep, that was like some Madden stuff.
All right, let me leave you with this. Talk about Hunter, even though you don't want to, right, Rap?
Oh yeah, Hunter was in the conversation earlier.
Yeah, you guys veered off.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Dave. What was it?
Well, no, the question
was
was
with trading Daniil Hunter, whether or not one guy wants him gone because he's older, he'd be 29 and he doesn't fit the young youth movement on defense, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I've stated it before. I'm okay with keeping Daniil if the money is worth. Like, if the money makes sense, then keep him, because I do believe Daniil Hunter has a couple more years, and I'm just excited to see what he can do with Brian Flores. At least give me 1 year with him, man. God damn, I just want to see that. It would suck for Daniil to leave on terms of he had to play his last season as a Viking with Ed Donatel. Like, come on, man. That's
it sad, would, yeah. That's
kind of sad, man. But I mean,
and he was the only one that played well.
Value for him, though. I mean, if you can get certain value for him, and it seems like, hey, it's the best thing for the team. I trust Kwesi and KO. I'm starting to trust the front office a little more than the recent the last front office. I'm starting to trust this one a little more. I'm going to give them a chance, man. Thursday's coming up. We're going to see what happens. So far this offseason, I got to say, Kwesi's done a pretty decent job. I'm excited about the moves he made, man. So
free agency, he's done a good job. It's the draft that I'm literally crossing my fingers and praying to God it doesn't go down the toilet. Like, I'm scared. Don't trade with Brad Holmes. I keep saying that, but I'm dead serious because they have 2 picks. Do not trade with Brad Holmes.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because to me, man, that Kyle Hamilton still hunts me, man. That we passed up on Kyle Hamilton to get Andrew Booth Jr. and Lewis Seen and who else? I think we got
Ingram,
people, right?
Yeah,
Ingram. And I feel like Kyle Hamilton, I said this on my last show, Kyle Hamilton alone, man, his freaking production alone blows all of those 4 players or 3 players out the water, bro. He is a generational talent, and we could have had a generational that, because I'm big on give me one good football player rather than having 3 picks that are going to be trying out to be starters. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather take the guy that that you've scouted, that is guaranteed most likely to be a starter and an impact player, man. And Kyle Hamilton was that. It was no secret. You know what I mean? But instead, you wanted to go against the grain and get a guy like Lewis Seen, which, hey, Lewis Seen could turn out to be the next best safety in the world. We don't know. We got to see.
Yeah.
You know I mean, but it's unfortunate, man. I mean, Andrew Booth, Ingram, he's a rookie. He didn't have that great of a season. He showed some flashes, but, Kyle Hamilton did his thing, man. Pro Bowler type safety play on his rookie season, man. Imagine what he's going to do this year coming up. So, and we missed out on that. You feel me?
Well, I think there's still opportunity that all 3 of those guys you just mentioned could turn around and taste the Pro Bowl. They have the physical abilities to do it. They definitely have athletic ability to do it, just whether or not they can put it together and stay healthy.
I'd have the biggest grin on my face if a guard from the Minnesota Vikings went to the Pro Bowl. And I'm not talking about how Tyler Huntley did.
The last time that's happened.
My God, I don't know.
Oh, man, we popping bottles that night, Mike. We popping bottles that night.
Obviously, I want to go to a different bowl, though. I don't care about the Pro Bowl.
That's true.
Yeah. Super Bowl all day, man. We're going to get there. I do believe, I know when me and Dave were doing our show and we signed Kevin O'Connell and we got Kwesi. We always said, man, we feel like the time is now, though, for the Vikings. I feel like it's definitely transitioning into Purple is definitely going to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years. Now, I'll have to maybe I can drag it to 5, but that's not a long wait. You know what I mean? We got to be patient. We've been patient this long, but I think I can definitely see Kevin O'Connell holding up a Lombardi, man. He just has that. He just has that about him, man. You can tell, he's going to be a really good coach in the NFL, man. He really is. And hopefully he stays with the Vikings and gets us that Lombardi.
Well,
I think he will.
I said this when we hired him, and this is just a general question. I generally don't know if I'm wrong about this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Have the Vikings ever had a head coach who had won a Super Bowl? Honestly, I can't even think of one.
No.
No.
Or Grey Cup.
That's shocking when you think about how old they are as a franchise.
But not
we got the Grey Cup, right?
We got the 4 Grey Cup.
Bud Grant is almost like Fran, where it's him and there's everyone else.
Right.
And it's crazy. They were together, right? They were the best quarterback coach duo the Vikings have ever had, and it's not even close.
Yeah, I think we got one, man.
We've had one that's won as an assistant. Well, he's an assistant, but when he was a head coach, he won.
Right, but no, we've never had a head coach who was a former Super Bowl
I think Kevin O'Connell's him, man. I'm gonna be real, man.
Well, he was the OC of that Super Bowl team, right? Like I agree.
I hope we're talking about the other way, where we got somebody that was a Super Bowl champion and brought him in to be our head coach.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah. And the last
Shout
thing
out to
was
the OGs,
offensive
man.
coordinator was a Super Bowl champ, right?
What's crazy is that we made Mike Tomlin or Tony Dungy our head coach. We probably would have had some darn good success.
Brian Billick, while we're at it.
Yeah, that's another Super Bowl winner too.
You know, for everybody who wants to talk smack about Denny Green, he knew how to put a staff together. It's unfortunate that all of his understudies had more success than he did when it's all said and done. But
he got screwed, right? Like at the end of the day, that '98 team. I don't want to, be that guy, but they should have won a Super Bowl. It's painful. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mike, yesterday I had finally just gotten over it. Now I'm back down on it again. Thanks.
Mind us, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Seriousness,
I do, man. For real though, I feel like we got our coach, man. I do.
I agree.
I feel like Kevin O'Connell's going to be our coach for a long time, man, and I think he's going to bring us. He's going to bring us a trophy. That's a fact.
But Rap, you don't like his quarterback that he loves so much, right? Number 8.
To be honest with you though, Mike, I don't think he likes him as much as we think he likes him.
Do you think it's media spin?
I really don't. Listen, I think he takes pride. Like he said it in his conference. Like he likes him. Don't get me wrong. He thinks Kirk's a good guy, good quarterback. Don't get me wrong about that. But what I do believe is he says, since he got in the NFL, even when he was a player, he scouted quarterbacks, man. Like that's one thing he enjoys. It's just like it's always been one of his hobbies to scout quarterbacks and see if these players turn into somebody, if he would have made the right choice if he ever became a coach. And that's one thing he takes pride in. And that's why we're doing what we're doing, because I think his main goal is to find him a quarterback that he went out, he picked, he scouted, and he can groom him into and call him his guy that he did. I mean, that's a trophy for a head coach. That's a quarterback type guy, It's a trophy.
By the way, I was being a little bit sarcastic. Obviously, it is time to move on for Cousins relatively soon, but no, 100%. He was brought in at some point to get his guy. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm checking
and
right
look,
now.
we won 13 games, man, and we're still making these type of moves. I mean, it's obvious, you know what I mean? Because if it wasn't, they would have extended Kirk Cousins right away. Right after the season, it would have been like, hey, we just won 13 games, extension. You know what I'm saying? Extension. That would have been the easiest thing to do, to keep Kirk Cousins there with Kevin O'Connell for 3 more years or whatever. But
Justin,
instead, they said no.
You brought up on one of our shows that they offered him 1 year, right?
Yeah, they offered him 2, didn't they?
They offered him a 2-year, but one only with 1 year guaranteed.
They offered him a 1-year deal. He wanted a 3-year deal, fully guaranteed. He came down to 2 years, fully guaranteed, and the Vikings said, "We'll give you 2 years, but only 1 year is guaranteed," which is effectively a 1-year deal. Right. They said, "Well, yeah, we'll give you a 2-year deal that has no backing on that second year." So for all intents and purposes, they offered him a solid 1-year deal, and he said, "No, I want 2 or 3." And
I can't emphasize this enough.
They liked him a little, at least.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they liked him.
I think they like him. I think they like him a little bit for sure.
Yes. I can't say this enough though. I'm so happy.
Back-to-back extensions. Yeah.
Kwesi said, "I'm putting my foot down on you getting all your fully guaranteed money." That warms my soul. Yeah. Honest to God. It really does.
Hey, I want to circle back real quick. Somebody said, didn't Dennis Green? Yeah, Dennis Green as a wide receivers coach did win a Super Bowl in San Francisco in 1988, but that's wide receiver coach. That's not offensive coordinator.
No, coordinator. That's what I meant. I should have worded that a bit better, to be fair.
Mateo said the fact the scout said Hooker could be a high-end Kirk is another reason not to take him. Like for anything that resembles Kirk Cousins type of play style, yeah, I'm willing to stay away from. But I think Hooker's a little different. I think
no one's ever had that play style and won a Super Bowl.
No,
I do want to say this. I'm not going to go on a big thing here, but like a lot of quarterbacks wish they could get to Kirk. Because like as much as we clown on him, I just want to make this clear. He made a ton of money. What is he, seventh most all time? Like a lot of quarterbacks wish they could become Kirk Cousins because it isn't that easy. As much as he gets clowned on, he is good. He's not great, right? It just is what it is. He's not great.
He's good. He's just not good. He's just not great.
He's not special. He's not a guy you look at and go, wow.
It really, it's the high pressure games that he tends to like crumble on. You know what I mean? And that's what matters. Because, NFL, that's what it's about, man. You're going to have high pressure games at the end. That's just what it is. And that's what separates some of these guys. Like, now you do have outliners because people always say, well, Trent Dilford and Joe Flacco.
But they had generational defenses, right? And that's the one thing I get so annoyed. Like, people just want to ignore that. Like I say, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl and Trent Dilford. They had literally two of the greatest defenses to ever walk the face of the earth.
I mean, look what Jalen Hurts did
imagine,
during the Super
imagine
Bowl,
putting, imagine putting a defense around with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, imagine.
But now with the fully guaranteed deals, it won't happen. It's just not possible.
Yeah, that's
why
the
is it not?
difference.
The cap is like 4 times higher than it was back then.
It's just not the same though. It's not, man. To me too. Another thing with me is I just think the game has evolutionized just like everything else.
Right.
You know, and like this is mine now. Did I say if that's the case, like use it? Why wouldn't you use a flip?
What's
phone?
the cutoff?
Like, you know what I mean? It's still calls and texts. Just use. I
got a question. What's the cutoff
of what?
The cap hit for quarterbacks that can make the Super Bowl.
This is what I say.
He's not even.
If it's generational,
the top 10 average salary, and he's like a $20 million cap hit this year.
I'm not going back into this, but if it's a generational, you pay like Mahomes, right? Mahomes, you pay him whatever. Sign the dotted line, blank check. Same with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Those guys you pay. Kirk Cousins is not one of those guys, right? Like, I don't think that's an unfair take. He's just not.
Well, you mentioned only 2 of those guys in the top 10 right now. It's Mahomes and Josh Allen. The rest of them.
I know it's been 60 seconds, and I've been having a hard time imagining Kirk with a def. Oh, that's right. The obligatory.
Yeah, 2018 got it, and then 19 he had a top 15, and we went to the playoffs and won a playoff game.
Okay.
Yeah, we won a playoff.
You don't remember that?
We won a playoff game in overtime, which he made a hell of a throw.
You bring up 2018. Is Kirk Cousins the same quarterback as he was in 2018?
Yeah.
I also do want to say this. Like,
you're gonna go this again.
I'm not gonna go into this like. To defend Kirk a bit, Daniel Carlson did screw him too. He did deserve.
On him, Dave. Stop. No.
He did deserve to go to the playoffs of 2018. Now, would have he brought us anywhere realistically? No, but that's not all his fault. I've never said this. Cousins has always had things that have screwed him over to a touch, but you've got to be able to elevate it, and he just can't. He can't elevate an average O line or an average defense. It just is what it is.
Hold on. So the winner.
He had a below average O line, and he won 13 games.
But they had 2 stud tackles.
Oh, but that one played the full time, the other one didn't, and then both were hurt at different times. Got it? You're talking like, you're talking like you can't do it with today's money, and finally we got him on a $20 million cap hit, and you're saying we finally do that, and we can spend all this money and bring in defense.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he got better.
And your assumption is that in the time it takes.
Your assumption it's 2018.
No.
And it's not. It's 2023 coming off a 13-win season.
Yes, my assumption is that by the time you fix this defense, anywhere close to where 18 or 19 was, let's just say top 10 or 15.
And hopefully we don't, so it doesn't prove you're wrong. Is that what the hope is?
No, that's not what the hope is.
No, the hope is
if you're going to make the assumption that Kirk is going to stay at the same level he's at his age in the next year or two for the time it takes to get this defense close to what it was when he had a good defense and didn't get us any further than the division round of the playoffs, there's no more or less ridiculous a thought process than mine. All I'm saying is that, yes, I look at him as going to be 35 going into this season, and by the time this defense is fixed, he's going to be 36, 37, and at that point, I don't think he's going to be at the same level he was at in 2022.
I just don't write off the team in April. I just don't write
off. No, agreed, 100%.
No, off the team, by the way, but
No, I do want to add this to Dave's point. Kirk was screwed over by some really bad defensive contracts. Like, they spent a ton of money on defense that they missed. Zimmer from 2019 to 2021 made some of the worst free agent signings when he spent so much money. And I'm glad that those guys got the money. That's not what I'm saying, right? Every athlete should get their money. But, man, they made some brutal signings, and it just did not pan out. Like Michael Pierce, Mackenzie Alexander did not turn out. Like, there was countless guys. Like, it just not good enough.
Mike, but 2018. 2018.
Bro, like, I ain't gonna lie, though. Like, I'm gonna just put it like this. I just think I'm gonna just keep it real, man. I just think Kirk doesn't have the skill set in 2023's NFL, man. That's just simple as that, man. He don't improvise, and that's what you need. You need to improvise.
Well,
why?
Tom Brady
because the
Vikings
don't like investing in the offensive line. We know that the Vikings won't invest in O-line. We know that. They didn't do it. They already didn't do it this free agency either. You know what I mean? Are they going to do it in the draft? We don't know. You know what I mean? But the thing is this. If you're not going to invest in your offensive line, you're doing Kirk a disservice, and there's no need to keep him, man. This dude is not good without an offensive line. But, yeah, last year he did pretty good taking hits. He was taking some hits last year and staying up in there, but man, that shit is not gonna last, man. You can't do that. Like your chances of making a Super Bowl with that type of, hoping that he gonna stand in there all the time and take those type of hits, man, that is not a good game plan to win no Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's not. So, hey, we don't want to invest in the offensive line, man. Like, what's the point? Just like you said, Dave, with the running back. Hey, if you're gonna misuse a running back, might as well do a cheap one. I feel the same way. Like, if you're not gonna build the offensive line when you know Kirk Cousins is a pocket passer, but yet you just ignore the offensive line like that, man. It's just, hey, it is what it is, man. You can't miss on the offensive line, man. You gotta know how to draft for sure. Something, we got Darisaw, we got Brian O'Neill.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else, man? We always struggle with our offensive lines, always toward the bottom, man. That shit's annoying.
Well, they were decent this past year. Like they were an average, solid top 15
together when they were all together.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the first year, and I can remember. I mean, I'm talking before Kirk Cousins, right? That we've had the same offensive line, right? Like 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah,
like it's probably since AP, right? When it was,
Did we have the same line from 17 to 18?
Didn't we? No, there had to be someone that left that line. No,
we had one least new player. It was I think our center was a rookie.
Bradbury would have came in. No,
Bradbury was drafted in 19.
Yeah, our center was a rookie in 2018, I think, wasn't that?
Nah, I'd have to look. I don't remember. I thought we were pretty close to the same.
We've had so many weird fringe guards, Tom Compton, who were, average players. I'm not sure if one of those guys would have came in that timeline. I'm not sure. That you might be right though, Justin. You might be right.
Wow.
The truth of the matter is, do we think Kirk can win a Super Bowl? And some people say, yeah, right. But some people are saying, yeah, he can, but the team has to be this. The defense has to be top 10. The O-line needs to be top 10 as well. Like, and those some of those things, man, for all of those things.
Well, he's proven that. He's proven that wrong about the offensive line because, I mean, when you're top 5 in both passing and touchdowns, and you had the offensive line, you took all those hits. I mean, you can obviously
prove it down on 4th and 8. Because he claimed the offensive
line. Because one play will erase everything you will ever do. Because
one play.
Yeah, I know. That's your opinion. And whether or not it's a fair one is a different story.
That one play was the most crucial play of the whole game, man. Like, come on, man. 4th and 8.
I do want to touch on this quickly since it came up.
2019 defense was 5th.
That defense screwed the. Let's be honest, guys. I think we all agree. 99%, the 0.9% of that game was on the defense. I know you picked
a stat, Justin, but what were they in yards?
In yards?
That's usually what they rank defensive by. So I know you pulled this out before.
No,
he's going back to 2019 and 18.
I'm going back to
because that will prove Kirk Cousins was bad. We went to the playoffs in 2019, Justin. We won. We won a playoff game that year. Okay.
My God. We did. Just completely ignore that in 18 and 19.
Throw the hat, Jay. Throw the hat, man. That was a great clip.
Like he's never had a good defense. Okay. In 2017.
Dude, I'm talking about the last 3 years. I never said never. I didn't say never.
You said imagine Kirk with a great defense, and we gave you 2 examples.
I think he said an O-line, no? I thought he said both. I could be wrong.
I said defense.
So now our quarterback has to have both.
Justin, I didn't say that. Mike just did. I didn't say
I may have been wrong, by the way. I just thought.
But hell, give me a halfway good defense. Give me a half good offense and a half good defense. I would appreciate that. That would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what, Dave, though, but we can say, well, give me Randy Moss and Chris Carter again, too. You know what I mean? And yeah, maybe we can do something. But it's like some things are just, or you're wishing on a shooting star, man. You know what I mean?
I'm wishing on a shooting star to get a mid-range defense.
Bro, you want a top 10 defense and a top 10 offensive line.
2 years.
Guys, I got to head out of here. But take it easy, guys. All right. Appreciate you guys.
We had historically bad defenses.
I gotta go. See you guys.
All right, see you, Mike. We'll see you Thursday.
Nah, man. Hold up, man. Well, hold up, though. You want a top 10 defense and you want a top 10
I didn't even say top 10.
What'd you say?
Said a halfway decent one.
What's halfway decent?
Mid range. Give me a
16. That's
sure. Give me 16. I don't care.
You think Kirk's going to win with a 16 ranked defense?
2009 or 19. That's mid-range.
And he won a playoff game.
He won a bleeping playoff game.
And then he went to San Francisco. Who else has lost to San Francisco?
Hang the banners.
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, like 3 years in a row. It's not a god-awful thing to lose for San Francisco.
Championship game, by the way.
It's just the fact that you can completely, you think that we had a good defense the last 2 years.
That phrase has never come out of my mouth, Dave. I have never once said this defense was any good the last 2 years. That is just total horseshit that you would say that. There is no way on God's. You go ahead and you always say run the tape back. You find anywhere where I have said this defense was any good the last 2 years. You won't find it.
And I just got you to admit that was a bad defense.
I have said all season the defense is bad. So how?
Congratulations on the epiphany. Epiphany.
It all year.
One of those things. So the fact that I'd say give me a good defense, you have to go on an historical expedition to pull out 2018. You have to go on a historical expedition to go out to 2018 to prove me wrong about 2023.
Now the show's getting started, baby.
It's a difference.
Every other week where I have said to you in 18 and 19 he had good defenses. There's no expediting in this. It's the same thing. You said give me a mid-range after I said, all right, you want to go on yours. You want to go on yours, and I want to go on scoring.
2019.
Huh?
He had a decent defense in 2019. Went to the playoffs.
Congratulations! He went to the playoffs and he got an overtime win and he got spanked in the team.
I know, and it's just stuff. And it was it was poor old San Francisco because they're terrible. No, they're a good team, man.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers lose to him 3 years in a row.
He has a good defense.
Aaron Rodgers 3 years in a row lost to him. Aaron Rodgers is shit. He lost to San Francisco 3 years in a row.
Better than him. Yes, it's unfair that we expect any quarterback to actually beat a team that's better than them once in a while.
We did. San Francisco, Buffalo was better than us.
Oh, so first we're talking about playoffs and now we're talking
okay, now other games don't count. Other games don't count. I got it.
We're talking about playoffs. You just said he got us to the playoffs. That's what you said.
I said we won a playoff game.
Yes, we've won one playoff game in 5 years.
And we were underdogs, right?
Yes, we were.
And
but
we won.
Dave, you are kind of on the train of like getting a quarterback this year, though, right?
I do mock drafts. I drafted Richardson twice in 2 or 3 mock drafts. I am fine with moving on with a quarterback. Just to say that,
just to be done with arguing about Kirk Cousins.
Can't win with this. Yeah, I'm at my cutoff, man.
You're at your end arguing about Kirk Cousins.
I'll talk some more.
I feel you. It is like exhausting, man.
You can't have a opinion that Kirk Cousins can win.
Yeah.
And he could do better if we had a better defense.
Yeah.
As a team, we could do better if we had a better defense.
San Francisco this year, he'd have a really good shot of winning a Super Bowl. Who said that?
Dave is Jerry Springer of Vikings Tubers. Jerry. Man, I love the chat.
Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
I've never said that if he was on the 2019 San Francisco 49ers, he would have done as good, if not better, than Jimmy Garoppolo. I've never said that it makes sense to trade him to San Francisco.
You said you would want one, but you don't admit that in front of Rap.
No, I've heard him say that. I have heard him say he would have won because I disagree with him. I don't think he would have.
Yeah, thank you. And you also never heard me say that. It does make sense to trade him to San Francisco because he could actually be the final piece of San Francisco's puzzle this year because that roster has everything that he needs: a great offensive line and a great defense.
Yeah.
Apparently, I've never said that. I've said that to everybody else, and I've said it on my channel 1,000 times. But apparently, Dave's never heard.
Why are you arguing with me?
I'm not.
Why are you arguing with me? Why do you have to prove me wrong? When I say he's good enough, when I say give him a good defense, you're saying he can't do it.
No,
he had 2018 to do it.
Vikings
but at the same damn time, you're talking about San Francisco. He'd be on San Francisco team. He'd go Super Bowls with San Francisco team. I
Throw
said,
the hat,
give me a good
Dave.
defense.
Throw the hat at the camera, Dave. We need to throw
give me a good defense. Give me a good offensive line, and we'd have the same thing. But you're saying, no, he has to go to San Francisco to do it.
Yes.
Because if they're in a different color, because they're in a different color, they'll win the Super Bowl.
I'll spell this out like I'm talking to my daughter right now. Right now, San Francisco has what Kirk Cousins needs. Right now, the Vikings don't.
You would talk to your daughter in that tone?
No, I actually have more respect for her than that, but that's beside the point. What I have said is right now, San Francisco has what he needs. And by the time the Vikings theoretically could get what he needs, he's going to be 2 years older. And at that point, he's not as good anymore. I don't know what is so goddamn complicated about that. That's all I've ever said was that, yes, if you gave
and
Kirk
I haven't
Cousins
said any different.
Yes.
I have not. I said, all I've said was give me a good defense, man. And if it was this year, I would appreciate it. If it was this year or next year, I'd appreciate it.
And all I said was it's going to take a year or two.
Nope, you said 2018. He had it. He didn't do anything with it. Move on. You bring up 2018 every time, man.
No, I bring it up every time you say he's never had a good defense.
No, I said give me a good defense.
East Coast in the building. Shout out Viking Central. You definitely need to get on these shit one time, man. We need to send you the link for sure.
Yeah, you do, man. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, anytime, man.
We'll put this jokes aside here. If y'all don't subscribe to Viking Central, go hit him up. I was on the show
absolutely,
last week.
Man.
Awesome, dude. Absolutely. I know we got Mike Sports Vibe, a couple of extra subs tonight. Let's get some to Viking Central as well. And to our guest who had to leave, and Mike Castellino, his
I think I'm following you, man.
His tube is
I'm subscribed.
Mic'd Up Podcast. Mic'd Up Podcast. So get up to Mic'd Up Podcast and Viking.
I am now. Sorry, Viking Central Podcast.
Shout out East Coast, man. Y'all go watch his latest mock draft with him and Coach Dante, man. I watched that. I watch your mock draft, Dante. I seen you get your boy shot out. I seen you get your boy shot out.
Tell me we can't get him some more.
I was impressed, and I said, "Dude, you're already over 1,000."
I'm sorry.
I
misinterpreted you yet again.
As usual.
Yes.
I seen Dante shot us out, man. Dante a Kirk stand, man. Hey, East Coast of Kirk stand.
I think one of his recent, like end of the season, he said he had to move on.
No, that my boy. He like Kirk. He's actually doing a video where he's comparing Kirk to he's comparing Kirk to Josh Allen. He says people move the goalpost for Josh Allen. I want to see that video because I'm gonna tell you right now. I told him last night, you ain't no way in hell you convinced me
believe he said
that Kirk Cousins and Josh Allen are on the same level. I
got a question. Don't go freaking nuts on me. How was Josh Allen's year? How was Josh Allen's year this year?
It wasn't that good, but it still is obvious that he's a better quarterback.
Yeah. Definitely below his standards that he has set for himself.
Yeah, because he set higher standards. Like, you expect Josh Allen to have an MVP type season every season because he's that good. You know what I mean? So, like, if he does have a semi, falling off year, it's like, well, damn, is he falling off? But he also had a bad elbow injury, too, that he played through like 6 games with or something. I think 5 or 6
Hey, what's
games.
up, Job Shot? I didn't see you earlier.
Remember, he had the elbow injury against us, I think. Remember? Wasn't he about to, like, sit out and we were about to play?
Yeah, no. Remember that week we were talking about whether it was going to be him or
Case Keenum?
Yeah.
But he muscled through it because he's a dog, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong. He made a ton of mistakes, especially in the red zone, and actually gave us a present, throwing it to Patrick Peterson. So he does. I think he was damn sure not himself, but he set his bar so high the year before to where, now he has to live up to that hype, man. But I think he will, though, man. Josh Allen, man, that dude definitely is on a different level than Kirk Cousins to me, man. That's my opinion, man. Now, I know Dante says he feels different, bro, but I mean, it's hard for me to believe that, man. I don't know.
Man, to be consistent.
Because if I got to say Kirk's better than Josh Allen, that means I got to start comparing Kirk Cousins to Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not ready to have that conversation.
To be consistent, I said this 2 years ago, and I'll say it again for Josh Allen, and I'll say it now for Jalen Hurts. We'll see how well they do once their team is no longer built up around them when they're on rookie contracts.
Yeah.
And right now,
Josh Allen just got his money, right? Or was it last year?
Well, he signed his extension, but now his extension is
now his money's going to kick in.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts signed his extension, but his big money won't kick in for a couple of years. So they got another couple of year window before it really kicks in. But I've said this before, and I'll say the same thing. so that it doesn't look like I'm only saying it about one quarterback, that once you get to your market value, you've got a short window because you're going to start losing pieces around you. When the Bills traded for Diggs, they had plenty of money because Josh Allen was on his rookie deal, along with a few other players. We'll see where this is. Now, Josh Allen is playing in a conference that has two other elite quarterbacks in Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. And frankly, Josh Allen kind of got, the short end of the stick where he had his team up with 10 seconds left and his defense let Patrick Mahomes run down the field in 2 plays. But having said all that, it's the same argument, and I'll have it with those guys just as much. Is you better get while the getting's good before your money kicks in.
Yeah. But I mean, still even with that though, like if we're just talking about who's the better quarterback, bro, like, I mean, come on, man, like for real, man, it's just hard for me to say that Josh Allen and Kirk are in the same tier, man. I just can't. I don't know. We'll see though. Things change every year in the NFL though. That's true. I mean, things do change. You feel me? They absolutely do.
On
like
that top 10 average salary list, I said the 2 guys on that list had a better season than Kirk Cousins were Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I remember I said that Kirk Cousins would have a better season than Aaron Rodgers. He damn sure did that. You know what I'm saying? He had a better season than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers struggled.
To answer the Two Evils question, for me, the answer is yes.
What did he say?
And again, I said that 2 years ago, and I still feel the same way.
Super Bowl window close. Yeah, I mean, like for real, like I feel like when we signed him in 18, I think after 19, maybe even 20, you know what I mean? All right, you brought him back for 20, but it shouldn't have been no extension though, for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? After that, it should have been over.
20 kind of hurt because of the defense injuries.
Yeah, and I know it was COVID. I know it was COVID year. That was COVID year too, right?
There was no home field advantage, and we lost a lot of defensive players to injury. That was Danielle Hunter missed the whole season.
We had 2 rookies playing at cornerback, right? Wasn't that the year?
Got rid of Rhodes and Waynes that same year.
That could have been a pretty good year,
Yeah, it's just to me, it just sounds like another excuse, man. Like
again,
if we didn't have injuries, if we didn't have this, if we didn't have that, he would have won. And it's like,
Jones is like Mahomes. Okay.
If Josh Allen and Kirk are alike, then Daniel Jones is just like Mahomes. For real. That's about how that sounds for real. I ain't gonna lie.
Probably
I mean, when we make our top 10 quarterback list every year, like Josh Allen is damn near at the top 3 of everybody's list that I ever have watched in my life. You know what I'm saying? So
who does? I had him up there. I just always rank what's his name from the Chargers?
Patrick Mahomes. Herbert. Justin Herbert. You weren't big. You weren't big on Herbert.
Yeah. Well, I had him in the top 10. I had him in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Herbert's good. Justin Herbert, to me, he's definitely a good quarterback, too. I think he does get a little overhyped.
My problem is I haven't seen him play a good game. The games I've seen him play, he didn't play well. So I guess I have nothing to go off of.
East Coast said,
everybody else we talked about, I've seen play good games.
East Coast said that ain't what he said. So my bad, y'all. That ain't what East Coast said. That ain't what he said.
There you go, man.
Waiting for him to do the video.
Calling him out for being a Kirk stan, and no, what were you saying that he's?
Oh yeah, he's a Kirk stan. Yeah, absolutely a Kirk stan.
He did pick us to win the Super Bowl this year.
He did. He did pick us to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, the fact we won 13 games kind of vindicates him a little bit, but yeah, we didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did have us win the Super Bowl. And we were lit on Kirk, bro. Like, even when I was on his show, I was lit on Kirk. See, that's how I am. Like, I'm going to give the boy his props during the season if he balling now. You know what I mean? But, hey, I ain't going to lie. That wild card game, man, that shit ripped my heart out my chest, man. I'm done. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was thoroughly shocked when he did that. And I shouldn't have been. But I was.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting that, all right, you know what? Defense has played like absolute garbage this entire game.
Yeah.
We've only had a couple of drives where we didn't do anything, and one of them was this bull crap Justin Jefferson pass back to Kirk Cousins. Another one was 2 backward passes, screen passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you know what? As garbage as we played, I feel confident that we're going to move the ball down and score a touchdown, and I hope KOC goes for 2 and doesn't give the tie and go into overtime. And when he threw that pass, I'm like, are you kidding me? you've stayed away from that all year. Why did you pick now? But I think the defense is good. So
you guys were telling me how they kept us in the game to allow that last drive to happen.
They did though. We were only down by a touchdown.
3 hours telling me that.
They did. We were only down by a touchdown.
Justin, do you agree with that?
I mean,
let's
just play through it. Okay, we won 13 games and 8 of them were comebacks exactly like they were. He was in the same exact position he was in 8 times during the season.
Defense made it happen.
You know what I'm saying?
They forced
he was down by one. Listen, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, when they went back and forth, listen.
If only Kirk would have played better.
Patrick Mahomes was down by 3 points
over
with
the
13
defense
seconds
in the
left.
game.
Like, let's keep it real, man. He was down by 3 points with 13 seconds left and went down and tied the game up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. I mean, like, listen, this guy had plenty of time on the clock. There was no rush. You know what I'm saying? No rush at all. You were able to run your offense, make your passes, and guess what? He decided to check it down on 4th and 8, man. You know what I mean? So that's his fault.
I got a question. Two Evil Hope brings up this point. I think the Vikings wide receiver core, they have propped up Cousins, who is a lot more mid than the stats show. What's more likely? Receivers propping up a quarterback or a quarterback propping up receivers?
It depends, because I do believe that
Cousins, it's receivers propping up a quarterback. Any other quarterback had
all I hear about how Kirk Cousins is so much better than Dante because Dante had Randy and Randy propped him up. So he's not the only quarterback.
Who's told you that?
Everybody who wants to say that Kirk has already passed Dante.
He's already passed Dante.
I do believe a good receiver makes a quarterback look good too, though. You know what I mean?
The answer to the question is it goes both ways. I think I'm not going to say it's 100% one way or the other. I think, Kirk didn't have all that much in Washington, and he put up some decent stats, pretty close to what he's done.
And Tom Brady.
Tom Brady in New England. I also do think that this notion that, if quarterback X, not named Kirk Cousins, was our quarterback, that all of a sudden Justin Jefferson is going to be a 700-yard receiver. I think that's a little ludicrous too.
I don't think anybody thinks that.
Yeah.
Well,
I know there's a lot of people that kept saying, there was a lot of people saying, whoa, if we get rid of Kirk, Justin Jefferson's going to leave. I'm like, really?
Depending on who you put. Yeah.
I mean,
you don't think there's a situation like Justin Jefferson would leave?
Not if you draft a quarterback, not if you're drafting a top talent. You know what I mean? I don't think he would leave. Why?
I mean, he'll catch passes from him in practice and he'll get to see that next guy, right?
Right.
And then his contract's coming up. Same time, Darisaw, was like the next year kind of thing. And it's like,
but my thing is this: he's gonna leave to go where? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's he gonna go? Where's the grass greener on the other side? That's gonna have a team that's gonna have the money to pay him. That he's gonna go play for a quarterback that's any different from the type of quarterback we're gonna have on our roster. Now, if we're going for somebody like Tanner McKee or something, I can understand. But when you're talking C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, why would he want to leave? You don't think that he sits and looks at these players and be like, God damn, boy, hey, me and him.
Well, he's got 2 years to make a decision.
Lamar Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. He's got 2 years to make a decision. That's why I was saying extend him before Kirk leaves. Get him to commit. I don't know.
And then pull the rug out from under him and say, okay, Kirk's gone now? I mean, what?
No, you've already drafted a quarterback, right? You had this succession plan that you told me you don't have the anybody but Kirk plan. You have a succession plan. You've drafted the next guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you told me
pulling the rug out from under him. Where did I say that? We have this conversation all the time.
Yes, we do. And somehow magically, first it was, no, we need to extend Kirk for one more year. And now it's, hey.
And it still is. I still would prefer Kirk to be here for 2 total years.
Yeah,
left.
You said 2 more seasons. Yeah, Dave wants him for 2 more seasons. This season,
I want him for this season and next season. Yes, I do.
And you want Hendon Hooker at the same time? Make sense to me. So you want to draft Hendon Hooker, but you want Kirk to play this year and next year. So you want Hendon Hooker to start in 2025.
It wouldn't bother me if Hendon Hooker's good, but now I've found out
how you gonna know if he's good?
Not mentally capable of handling quarterback position potentially. I'm a little worried about him.
Yeah,
I think it's a risk. I think it's a less of a risk than trading 3 first rounds to go up in
it is less of a risk, but that's the problem.
I'm just saying it's less of a risk because then we could draft a quarterback next year too.
That's the problem with the Vikings, though. We're always scared to take the top risk. We always want to, let's just do it right here in the middle so that, you know, if it does fail, it's not that bad. But you know what I mean? Like that's the problem with the Vikings. That's why we don't make Super Bowls and don't win, because we always trying to be safe. Like at some point you have to drop your nuts, man, and go get your boy. You know what I'm saying? At some point, whether it's this year or next year, because I've also stated on the record too that I like next year's draft. And being that we have Kirk and we know that Kirk's going to be our quarterback for sure, like if we were to wait and get one of the guys next year, I would be okay with that. The only thing with that is he would have to be the starter right away and wouldn't be able to sit, which I'm still fine with that though. You know what I mean? Like either way is cool with me. But Thursday's right around the corner, and I want to get him Thursday because I like the new toys that I see right now. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with it.
We won't have to have this discussion. Well, it'll be a variant of it, but it won't be this one directly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I'm with Dave on that. Like I'm not with the 2-year thing. I'm with letting Kirk play this season, and then next draft we just go ahead and go all in.
Mateo, Kirk Cousins didn't start till he was 27.
But see, what I don't want to do what the Vikings usually always do, and that's why we never find a good quarterback that we draft. We always got to sign a free agent that somebody else drafted is, oh, well, we can get this guy in the 4th round, or we can just wait until the 6th round and get this guy. He's intriguing. No, absolutely not, man.
Well, that's what DTR is. I thought you liked DTR.
I do like DTR, but I also said, like, the chances of DTR being a successful NFL quarterback are slim to none, man. The odds are against him. Like, it just is what it is. Yes, he has good skill set. He looks like he's athletic, this, that, and the third. But the chances of him being, like, a really good quarterback in the NFL that's going to be a franchise-type quarterback are slim to none. Can it happen? Yeah, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Look what Brock Purdy did. Anything can happen, you know what I mean? But, like, it's just the math, man. You know, you want to go for the high. You want to go for the high percentage plays, man. It just makes the most sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not with the getting the quarterbacks all the way in the late rounds. Why? Because they always wind up turning into practice squad players, man. Especially for the Vikings, at least. You know what I mean? Like, if we're just gonna speak on our team, like, shit, when the hell we draft a quarterback in the later rounds that started for our team and actually was somebody?
You're right. People hope suggesting that we wait till next year to draft a QB.
I'm okay with, like I said, I like next year's QB class for real. I like Jordan Travis already.
Wait, are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? You're willing to wait till next year?
I've said that plenty of times that I'm willing.
In my chat, listen, I want to wait till next year. There's always next year.
Well, look, I want Anthony Richardson this year, but like I said, like if it happens, then it is what it is because I know for sure next year we're gonna get.
You were cracking on me in my chat all the time about Dave always next year. It's always next year.
It's always next year
because I've made that point of and for me it was getting the draft capital because we only got 5 picks this year, and I thought it'd benefit us more.
No, but you want Kirk for 2 years. You just said you want Kirk 2 years. Stop that.
2 more years, Rap. You got,
Yeah, 2 more years. You want Kirk for 2
24
more years.
Yes.
23 and 24.
The only difference that I'm saying is that to me, what you said, Rap, was if you wait till next year, then it's got to be a guy that you're willing to put out there immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the benefit of doing it this year is so that you don't have to put the guy out there immediately. And that's what makes me lean towards doing it more this year than next year.
And I'm all in for this year too. Believe me, I'm all in for this year. You know, I'm not into the trading back for Hendon Hooker and trading back, trying to do this bargain type thing to get a quarterback because you're going to get what you pay for, man. It's like anything else. Like, yeah, you can just for you to say you got a quarterback in the draft, does that make you feel good? No, I actually want to get somebody that has potential, man, that we know can possibly be the franchise quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to do it. You know, don't try to, well, let's get DTR in the 6th round. You know what I mean? And let's just fucking shoot a dart in the dark and hope we hit the bullseye. You know what I mean? That's just, to me, it don't make sense. Now, if we get DTR, hey, of course, as Vikings fans, we're going to be intrigued. Like, hey, hopefully he can play. But it's going to be a Kellen Mond type experiment. He's going to play. He's going to be on the team for a couple of years, and then he's gone. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that happening. That's exactly what's going to happen.
To the point that you just put up for 2 evil, here's my thought process. If you get a quarterback this year and you let him sit this year, You're letting him sit behind Kirk Cousins, who you already have under contract, who's already counting against your salary cap. If, on the other hand, you get your quarterback next year and you let Kirk Cousins walk, you still got that $28.5 million dead money of Kirk Cousins, plus whatever money you would sign to any potential free agent that you bring in. So at that point, that's the reason why I would
do this year,
slightly lean this year, because you've already got your bridge quarterback under contract, counting against your salary cap. Whereas next year, that $28.5 million is going to be there regardless, but then you've got your rookie on a rookie contract who is ready to start. That's what sways the scales a little bit for me from that perspective as well. Yeah. I mean, if you signed a Gardner Minshew as an example next offseason, you're going to pay him $15-18 million, plus you got Kirk's $28 million dead. Well, then you're not really saving anything against the cap. That's the other part of my reasoning as to why I'd rather do it right now.
Yeah, I'm all the way with it though, man. I'm definitely rich gang, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely rich gang though on Thursday for sure. Rich gang to the death. You feel me? Like if we do it this year, I'm lit. I want to do it. So whether it's this year or next year, like I said, all I said was it's not gonna be end of the world for me if we don't get a top quarterback this season, because we know that regardless, we're not gonna be able to see him play anyways. So like we get Anthony Richardson, like unless Kirk gets hurt, like Anthony, we're gonna just be seeing little practice highlights of him all season anyway. You know what I mean? So I mean, we get to see preseason, I guess, but I mean, shit. I just figured, man. Listen, next year got some studs, man. Them quarterbacks coming in next year got some studs, and we're gonna be sitting back next year's draft like, damn, we're not in this race because why? We got our guy last year, which is okay. You know what I mean? Which is okay too, but. When we see them shiny toys coming in the draft next year, we're going to be like, damn, boy, we probably should have waited. Boy, we could have got this motherfucker right here. And we picking like 10 or 12.
So we brought it up a little bit ago, and you make great point. If we don't have a quarterback signed for next year, it would make sense to go get one this year. Yeah. Right? Just makes sense because right now he gets to sit for 1 year, and the guy we get kind of needs to. The guy we're probably going to get is going to have to. Yeah. But we don't get him this year. We don't have Kirk the following year. We draft a quarterback and we have to go up and get one. And we have to draft that guy and play him that year. Most likely if we draft him high, right? Mm-hmm. So isn't that rolling the dice more about and this is I'm bringing it back to Justin Jefferson. Drafting a rookie quarterback the same year his contract's coming up. It's a risky proposition to me. So, I would say we'd have to get the right guy this year to have that succession plan, because going in there with no starting quarterback and then drafting a rookie and having to play him that year in the final year of Justin Jefferson's contract, not a good situation, I think.
Well, the other thing to that point is going through the motions that way. If you go into next year's draft with no Kirk Cousins under contract and no quarterback having been drafted this year, it's going to be, you've brought up the points next year we'll have more draft capital to spend. It's also going to cost you more because teams are going to know you're desperate, particularly if the Vikings this season, it plays out to where you're competitive for the division.
Well, will we be desperate though? Because we also can throw smoke screens saying, well, we're just going to sign Kirk Cousins again. If he was happened to have
because his contract voids at the beginning of free agency. So people are already going to know whether you're going to have Cousins back or not.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That is true. You got a point.
Again, if you've had him you've extended him twice now, right? Mm-hmm. Hold it. Yeah. Twice.
Yeah.
So you and again, if you extend him one more year, and then the thought process of doing it again, you're not desperate.
But
that's just dragging the same thing position right now.
But it's there.
No, it's not there. Here's what I'm saying. I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying it's there, and it's not showing that you're desperate. You've got a guy that's playing Pro Bowl.
Because that's pretty much like we're in that position right now. So why just do it? Why just go another year?
But even before that, right? Even before that. You've already offered Kirk Cousins a 1-year extension. He's already said no to it. What makes you think he'd be any more amenable to taking a 1-year extension this time next year?
Yeah, that's true too. I think he's looking for a long-term deal somewhere.
He's looking to get his
at least another 3 year. I think he's probably looking for another 3 years somewhere.
I mean,
he probably knows that's his last one.
I'll put it to you like this, Dave. If Kirk had accepted another 1-year extension, then I'm totally the things that have tipped the scale slightly more towards doing it this year. Those extra weights wouldn't be there. But he's already rejected a 1-year offer. He's not going to play out this season and then take a 1-year extension next year. I don't think. I could be wrong. I'm just saying, to me, it doesn't make sense that he would take it next year.
I'm just talking about the angle of Justin Jefferson playing for a rookie quarterback in the last year of his contract. I'm just saying that's a risk.
It depends.
It's also a risk to not.
I think they're going to sign. They're going to sign him before.
Can it just be a risk and say, yeah, good point, Dave? I mean, can it be?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but aren't they going to extend him?
But
what's
that rap?
Aren't they gonna give? They're probably gonna sign Justin Jefferson before then anyway. Yeah. Like they're not gonna wait until his final year. They're gonna do it, but they're going to do it. They're not gonna have Justin Jefferson's agent.
Justin Jefferson get extended yet?
Not as of yet.
Right, and it's not gonna happen for the draft apparently either.
No, but it'll happen.
Is he waiting and seeing? He waits and sees. We don't draft a quarterback. Kirk Cousins gone. After this year, next year we have to draft a rookie. I mean, will he then re-sign after we don't draft a quarterback? I mean, I just don't. It's a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk.
It could be a risk. I think Justin Jefferson's, man, confident in his play and his skills, man, to where he knows that whatever quarterback we bring in, he think he gonna ball out. It
also might be a timing thing too, that they haven't done Jefferson or TJ Hawkinson and they're waiting until after the draft because that's when the gap resets too.
Because I don't think they're gonna let Jefferson play on his last year. I think
not a chance. They're gonna handle the business. Not a chance in the world.
Yeah, they're gonna handle business before then. So he's already gonna be locked in before you know.
I mean, he still gets to see what we drafted
this year. Yeah,
he still gets to see what we drafted and be like, hey, I'm gonna be without a quarterback in 2024. It's just. If we don't draft one, right?
How do you not know Justin Jefferson? They said Justin Jefferson has a lot of he's putting a lot of input. How you know he's not the one?
I didn't hear a lot of input. I heard that they were going to run by their plans with him.
But how do you know he's not one of the guys saying, "Hey man, I think it's time to find a different type of quarterback, man." You know what I mean? I love Kirk Cousins, but he's probably like, I like Kirk Cousins, but I want to win.
You definitely don't see that publicly.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that publicly for sure.
Or leaked so far.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because if that shit got out, boy, it'd be crazy. Boy, that'd be spicy news right there, boy.
That would be terrible.
But he said him and Kirk Cousins don't see eye to eye all the time, but they got a good relationship. So he's admitted. I mean, because I've seen him plenty of times frustrated with Kirk Cousins on the field. Yeah, I mean, he definitely don't hide it when he's frustrated.
And that's not exclusive to those two. I mean, that's a lot of wide receivers.
It's exclusive to play calling and stuff too. Like a lot of things go into it, but he just wants the ball, man. And when he ain't getting the ball, man, like any receiver really, man. Most number one receivers get like that, man. They're divas. You know what I mean? So
he set two Vikings records this year.
He did. But
NFL
I just feel like he could have did that with a lot of the quarterbacks in the league, though. You know what I mean? Like, this is in reality. He's a good receiver, man, and I don't like taking away from his skill, just thinking like, he only can do that with Kirk.
A lot of the quarterbacks in this league. How many is a lot?
I mean, I would say at least a good 12, man. Listen, throwing 4,000 yards isn't like crazy no more. How many quarterbacks do like close to 4,000 yards this season? You know what I mean? Like, there's a good amount.
Better yet, how many receivers got 1,800?
That's true. Yeah. Hey, Justin Jefferson's definitely, our offense runs through him and it should,
there's a lot of good, there's a lot of good receivers out there, right?
But there ain't a lot of Justin
And how many got 1,800 yards? I made the point a while back, like how many receivers have ever gotten over 1,800 yards? 3 or 4?
Yeah. I know Cooper Kupp did. Okay. There's some that
Cooper
got
Kupp,
Megatron.
Rice. Megatron.
Terrell Owens, I think, had a season.
I don't think he got 1,800, but I can't think of many other. I can't think of any. It's not many. So to say a lot of quarterbacks in this league could have got Justin Jefferson 1,800 yards. It's only happened like 4 or 5 times. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I still believe that there is other quarterbacks, though. There is other quarterbacks,
Sure.
Like, yeah, I'm just saying the ones that there's certain people that believe that he only could have did this. It's only because Kirk Cousins was his quarterback, and I'm like, that's false, man. Like
I never heard anybody ever say that. I would think if Joe Burrow or Herbert or that throw all the time would get him 1,800 yards or could.
Yeah, I just think it's like, man, it's like, to me, it takes away from Justin Jefferson trying to just always say that. It's like we're talking about JJ stats, but we got to say, well, it's because Kirk's his quarterback, and it's like, yo, that's a disservice to JJ, man. JJ is a savage, bro. He did it in college with Joe Burrow, like he did it in damn NFL, man. Like and I feel like he's gonna do it again, regardless of who's our next quarterback. I think he's still gonna have an amazing season. 1,800 yards, hey, I don't know, but he's still gonna be getting 1,500 yards, man. He's just that type of dude, man. And Kevin O'Connell's they're gonna force feed him the ball, so he's gonna have his opportunities for sure. I think he'll always get his opportunities, man. But I mean, you got a point though. Like if you get a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, and if he does tend to have happy feet like a Justin Fields, because I think Justin Fields is gonna run a lot this year, man. I think he's already like programmed to run now. I'm gonna just keep it real. That's why I don't have faith in Justin Fields. Like I don't care what kind of line. I think he's so programmed already that he's damn near gonna run all the time now. Again, that boy got happy feet, man. Yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here though, man. We've been on 2 hours, man. We got a long week ahead of us. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, guys. This was a great show.
We gotta pace ourselves a little bit better.
Yeah, this was a great show though. I ain't gonna lie, man. I had fun tonight. I jumped on with y'all.
If y'all didn't hit the like buttons, hit the like buttons on your way out here. Subscribe.
Y'all argued, but man, you know what I mean? It wasn't as fun though, man. Day ain't throw the hat at the camera, man. That's the signature.
I told you.
He yelled at his daughter though.
No, I didn't.
You didn't do a good enough job, Dave, man. Next show, man, you got to make sure you get him to throw his hat at the camera, man.
Yeah, that's when
I'm gonna talk to you like I talk to my daughter, and
I'm gonna talk to you like I talk to my child.
I believe I said spell it out, but that's beside the point. In all seriousness,
but it was all fun though, man.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate everybody in the chats. Subscribe to the channels: Purple and Gopher Days, Purple and Skull Media, Purple Pocket Podcast, Minnesota Sports Chalk, GG Sports. If you don't already subscribe, what's up, GG? Nothing compared to what's going to happen Thursday. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Nothing compared to what's going to happen.
Do not miss Thursday, man.
Do not miss Thursday. We're going to be on all the channels. We know we're going to have some more shows tomorrow and Wednesday. Before Thursday finally happens there as well. But thanks everybody for joining us. Hit the subscribe buttons to our newer members, Mike with Mic'd Up Podcast, and a shout out to Mike's channel. And who else was? Oh yeah, Viking Central. And who else did we have in here? Mike Sports Vibe. Yeah, Mike Sports Vibe. Get him some more up on there too. So
and GG too, man. For the one.
I said GG,
man. Go rock with GG, man.
We rocking.
I mean, we waiting for this sound right here, man. You know what I mean? Like.
I was hoping you were gonna get those. I was hoping that you were gonna get the chimes, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm having too much fun with this soundboard now, man. I'm just adding all type of shit. Like I'm definitely gonna take a sound bit from one of y'all soon, man. I'm just waiting for one of y'all to say the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, I'm listening.
You would. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate you. Skull Vikes, and we'll see you on Thursday and all the other episodes in between. Good night.
Skull.